FoxPHLGambler.com. Once again, FoxPHLGambler.com right now.
Big game and even bigger bets. Tackling all the props, spreads, and value plays in between. You're listening to the Daily Ticket with Sean Brace, right here on The Gambler.
And away we go. Tell you what, started this show / radio station back in 2019. Have been doing a Daily Ticket from that moment when we went live as a station. It was like August, summer, and every single show that I have been a part of, the Open, was Eminence Front by The Who until today. The first time that we have rolled out a new Open, and if you're keeping score at home, it's because I got banged by by the people who get paid to pay attention to this stuff. What is it, a DMCA violation? Is that not the YMCA? It's the DMCA violation. Yes, and I got hit. No, matter of fact, I got hit twice. And I would assume if there's a third strike, it's not going to be something that I want to deal with. So moving forward, there's two ways I can go about it. This is inside baseball that nobody cares about, but that's all right. Moving forward, there's only two things I could do. It's either A, I can hit a button and take it out while I'm playing music to bring me back, or B, I just completely change everything and we go generic music like this. And just roll with it. Well, there's not much I can do. Not much we can do. You know, it's via this. Yeah. What is going on? All right, so we're having issues over here. You're having issues. I don't think you're coming through the microphone.
Am I not?
No. No.
Dude, what's going on, man? This is a bad start, let me tell you. Hold on. Ready for this?
Oh, well, you take your time.
Here we go. What's going on, Sean Brace? There we are.
All sorts of blurry.
Dude, I got this new camera a few months ago, and it's great. But, like, here and there, it just won't focus. And, like, I'll be sitting there putting my hand up, trying to get it to focus. I'll start changing the light behind me. Nothing works. And this was unfortunately one of those days. But switch back to the old camera. We're good now. We're good.
Yeah, and the Go camera is pretty good. Speaking of focusing, can you focus in on this? You're not in studio.
Oh,
little Dave's Hot Chicken. How about that? Huh?
On air review. Dave's Hot Chicken.
Dave's Hot Chicken review coming up in a little bit. That's the medium. I had a little cauliflower bite earlier.
That's good chicken, dude. That's good chicken.
Like a dragon. I was breathing hot fire. Yeah, Dave's Hot Chicken with a tremendous drop for iHeartRadio Philadelphia. Folks over at the Cherry Hill location. And they're doing it big, of course, for the big game on Sunday. Right now, if you go to Q102's website, if you go to 104.5's website, if you go to Power 99's website, we don't have it up. You do the math on that one. I don't know why that is, but we are not participating in the contest, but I am participating in the stuffing my face.
Yeah.
So they sent it in. So bottom line is right now you can go ahead and enter on any of those. A matter of fact, you can go to this iHeartRadio.com/Dave's Hot Chicken. All right. Plus we'll be putting out a social media post as well on all of our platforms, and they are giving away. One winner gets free Dave's Hot Boxes for a year.
Dude.
50 winners will get a big game hot box, which is 4 hot boxes, 2 boxes of sliders, 2 of tenders, 10 sides mac and cheese, 2 big box fries, and 100 winners will get a $15 gift card from Dave's plus merch. Once again, do yourself a favor, iHeartRadio.com/Dave's Hot Chicken. That easy. I will review that in a little bit. We got a lot to get to. Luke Arcaini joining me to start the show. Luke, Super Bowl right around the corner. Here we go. Last night, media night, opening night, the dumb conversations, the dumb questions, and it gets more ridiculous every year. Still, though, my favorite thing, looking back at opening night it's still to this day, and I don't think it will ever be beaten, is when Dave Portnoy got carried out from Barstool, when got carried out wearing the mustache and the shades when he was not supposed to be there. And they went up and found him in the seats and they said, "You got to go." And he's like, "I'm not leaving. You're going to have to carry me out here." And they did. Full body limp. It is the most ridiculous, hysterical video that like I caught last night. I'm like, wow, I forgot about that. Tremendous content. You got to do it for the gram, as they say. And yeah, that was legendary. But last night I saw our good friend Kyle Pagan down there. He was getting some good content, teach their own. But
I know Chef was down there too. Pretty
Was
sure
he?
Chef was down there.
Wow.
At least last night, yeah.
Nice by Chef. And I mean this with all love and respect. It's tough because there's so many people down there. It's not to say that there's not creative people. It's not to say that there's not funny. Like Chef is funny. Kyle Pagan's funny. But they're so limited in what they can do and create because there's so many people. The masses are there, and you're trying to like just picture you got Reuben Frank you're elbowing, you got Les Bowen in front. Like I'm just throwing names out there, right? And then times 100, times 1,000, times 50. I don't know how many people they credential. It's packed.
A lot.
But I
Too
saw
many.
Cooper Manning was running around with that dumb. I don't even know what he was dressed up as. I'm sure it has some New Orleans theme to it, but it looked like a nutcracker. Was he a nutcracker?
I don't even know. It was weird. They gave too many people credentials for this thing. And like
I
I get it. Like it's sports media is one of the fastest growing things in the world. Everyone has a podcast now. Everyone does man on the street videos, but there's got to be a line. Like there's just like some of the questions last night. I mean, that's easily the worst night of the Super Bowl week. Like, no, not a single doubt in my mind. The guy's asking Jalen Hurts how to become more handsome because his girlfriend's in love with Jalen Hurts and not him.
Good man to ask.
One guy asked Jalen Hurts today what his thoughts on President Trump being at the game were. Like,
what did he say?
He said something along the lines like he has the right to do whatever he wants or something like that.
Gotcha.
But Hurts was like, dude, like, why are you asking me these questions? Like, it's just a big.
I know it's coming.
But hey, you got to get your content. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Get your content.
All right. We do have some conversational pieces that we can get into from the Roger Goodell press conference, which I thought was interesting. One nugget from last night. Well, there's two things. One thing that caught my attention, and I want to open it up with this discussion as far as what we are seeing right here, right now between Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. And Mahomes and John Jansen yesterday, don't know if you were able to catch it, Luke, but he's like, I don't want to put, Jalen Hurts in that discussion. He doesn't deserve to be in that discussion. And okay, I get it. It's Mahomes, right? He's on an entirely different level than anybody playing the position right now in the league across the board. But here we are in 5 years, and Hurts has now made his second Super Bowl, regardless of the team success, the build of the team, right? Regardless of how great Howie Roseman has put together a tremendous roster from top to bottom. I don't give a damn. He is the starting quarterback, and it's not like he's Trent Dilfer or Brad Johnson out there. He is making plays with his legs. He's putting the ball on the money, not turning it over, being a great quarterback, which is the word I describe him this year has been great. Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. Dare I say Jalen Hurts right now is the best quarterback in franchise history.
If he wins the Super Bowl, he is. He's
Well, what? You're going to say McNabb is a better quarterback than him?
I mean, it's hard for me to have the McNabb conversation because I didn't get to watch as many seasons of McNabb as I got to watch.
But
what
McNabb was.
I mean,
his
based off of
success.
Based off of success, I would end game. I mean, if you take every factor into it, he's definitely, there's an argument for it. But I think the bottom line is if he wins on Sunday, he's undoubtedly the best quarterback in the history of the franchise. And
totally agree.
It's not. I don't think it's that close. Like, you can put Foles up there because he won the other Super Bowl, but Nick Foles played 2 meaningful games for the Eagles.
Yeah,
Nick Foles wasn't good until the NFC Championship. When the Eagles played the Raiders on Christmas Day, the week after Carson Wentz got hurt, and we thought we were going to get bounced in the first round.
I was in the stands. It was freezing, and that was a terrible game.
Yeah, it was a horrible football game. But like, if Jalen Hurts wins the Super Bowl, he's undoubtedly the best quarterback in the history of the Eagles. Like,
correct.
Whose resume would you rather have if Jalen Hurts wins the Super Bowl on Sunday? Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen? Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson? Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow? These are the things you start to get to. But would you rather have guys who win MVPs or would you rather have guys who win Super Bowls?
Because, and that's what Cam Newton was talking about last week too, as well, which I think there's some honesty behind it. I have no issues with it.
No, I don't either. But like, if it comes down to it, I want my quarterback. I would rather my quarterback have 2 Super Bowls and 0 MVPs than 6 MVPs and 0 Super Bowls. Like, we root for our teams to win the championship. We don't root for them for the star player to win the MVP. Like, that's kind of where I'm at with the whole. And I think this is a really just bad week to do the whole, quarterback ranking and blah 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 blah, because it's just not the time for it. You can do that after the game, but like, bottom line is, if he goes out there and he beats Patrick Mahomes and he beats Andy Reid and he beats Travis Kelce, and the Eagles win their second Super Bowl in 7 years, and they've now been to 3 in the last 7 years, then yeah, like, he's the best quarterback to ever play for the team.
That's where we're at with the discussion. I'm right there with you. And look, it's a long way to go if he's able to get over the hump. But I think it's more important to have the discussion as far as where he stands with these other quarterbacks in comparison. And I have no issues whatsoever to sit here and say that, yeah, there is a better passer out there in Joe Burrow, no doubt. But when it comes to guys that are winning championships, and that's where we're always bump heads with the people that don't consider team wins as a quarterback stat. Like, it's not to say it's the end all be all or it's all on the quarterback's shoulders, but at the end of the day, this is why they play the game. And I don't give a damn about, how good your team is. That's too much of a complex, too much complex in the details when it comes to comparing these quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts, 5 years, 2 Super Bowl appearances, came up just shy in 57, gets over the hump in 59. Dude, he's on that level. He
also played the best game of his career in this last Super Bowl that he lost. He balled
300 out. Yards passing, 70 yards rushing, 15 carries, 3 touchdowns rushing, and a touchdown in the air. Ball.
It was the best. It was easily the best game of his career. And if he goes out there and wins on Sunday and you put him up against, the resumes, I think Lamar Jackson's probably a more skilled quarterback than Jalen Hurts. I think Josh Allen's probably a more skilled quarterback than Jalen Hurts. I think Joe Burrow is probably a more skilled quarterback than Jalen Hurts. But the Monday after the Super Bowl, if Jalen Hurts has a ring, he has a more successful career than all 3 of those quarterbacks so far because he has the ring, which is like, I think sometimes there's a lot of people that get into these sort of quarterback arguments and they think of skill. I mean, it's like these guys who will sort of release these rankings and they're like, yeah, Patrick Mahomes is 4 or Patrick Mahomes is 3. They're like, oh, well, Josh Allen is better at the quarterback position. But like, easily Mahomes is the best quarterback in football because he's the biggest winner in football. If Hurts goes to win this Super Bowl on Sunday, he's maybe not the second most skilled quarterback in football, but he's probably the second most successful quarterback in football. Like, it's now 2 Super Bowl appearances in 3 years. Like you said, 1, he's gonna win. So like, it's Jalen Hurts to go out and to win this Super Bowl on Sunday would shut a lot of people up, would shut a ton of people up. But then you sort of get into the conversation as well. It's like, well, if Jalen Hurts goes out and he wins this Super Bowl on Sunday, he's the best quarterback that's ever played for the Eagles. If Saquon Barkley goes out and rushes for 200 yards in the Super Bowl on Sunday and wins Super Bowl MVP, like, do you start to put him in the best running back category that the Eagles have ever had? Like where does that position kind of draw? because there's a chance he could have the all-time rushing record for most yards in a season based off the regular season and the playoffs, on top of a Super Bowl, on top of potentially Super Bowl MVP. Like, there's never been a running back that's done that in the history of the Eagles. So, like, where do you sort of draw the line in those sort of like franchise rankings at that point?
Well, like I said, when you get these two quarterbacks matching up, and then coming off of what took place last night, one of the very cool things I was able to take away, and there wasn't many, was the image of him, Jalen Hurts and Mahomes sitting next to each other. And then I posted a picture on our Instagram account on the Gambler at Fox PHL Gambler, the comparison from 57 to 59. Mahomes, there's a clip when he was talking about it. He said, yeah, I could see myself back in 57. He said, I could see myself competing against this guy in a few more of these. So here we are 2 years later, just getting back here. And I know we are not, nobody's interested in having that conversation right now. Nobody. And I'm not here to do that at this point in time. But even to get to this point, to get to another Super Bowl, to be the kings of the NFC, he deserves so much credit. So it's not to say that I'm here to tell somebody like Jansen he's wrong. And we had to keep it quick yesterday because he was leaving. I'm not here to say he's wrong because I'm not dumb. I know how great Mahomes is. I know how unbelievable Lamar is. But I do think he is a little bit off and a little strong. Let's put it that way. Where, like I'm willing to admit that no, he's not on that level. However, and Jansen is almost like, well, he's not and he will never be. He wants to really look at the team success and how good this roster is. And it's just like, we can go down every team, and every team has great players. Every team has flaws. The Eagles aren't perfect at every position, right? Like, they are damn near close to it, but they're not perfect at every position, and they've gotten a lot right. Look at the fact that Jurgen slides in for a Hall of Fame center. It's not to say that we expected him to be bad, but I can't believe how great he is. Like, these things happen. Defensively, you're talking about a team that's got the number one defense. You're right. You got to factor that into the equation when we're talking about team success. So again, to me, I think there's nuance, there's details that we could focus on. It's a little bit more of a complex conversation, but at the same time, I still don't think Jalen is being talked about the right way. That's all.
He's not. I don't think he ever is. I think it's
if he wins a Super Bowl, he's got to be.
He better be. I'll tell you that, he better be.
Right?
But I mean, you would think, but it'll still be the guys that if Hurts throws for 140 yards and they win the Super Bowl, then it was the Saquon Barkley show. But bottom line is winning. You win the game. I've said this to you multiple times. That dude could throw for 7 yards in the Super Bowl. If they win the Super Bowl, then they win the Super Bowl. That's quite literally all that matters on Sunday. Like, it doesn't matter. We talked. It was I believe it was the divisional round. Every team that outgained their opponent lost the game. Like, these quarterbacks that go out there and put up 475 passing yards and 4 passing touchdowns in the game and a passer rating of 149. But if they lost, they lost. Like, it doesn't matter, especially this week. Like, this is the one where it doesn't matter how you play. Like, just win the game. I mean, a lot of times if you go back and you talk about the Super Bowl from 2 years ago on the national media level, everyone says, I've seen more clips of the Jalen Hurts fumble than I've seen of any of his touchdown throws. Because it doesn't matter. He lost the game. And yes, he played the best game of his career on the biggest stage in all of sports. And the big reason they lost that game was because of the defense. But
you can't turn the football over like that.
The bottom line is, if you don't win, you don't win. Like, that is all that really matters on Sunday.
Patrick Mahomes, different level. We're talking about 7 seasons as a starter in Kansas City, 5th trip to the Super Bowl. He's won 3 out of his first 4, including each of the last 2 seasons. Of course, one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the position. And no, I would not put Jalen Hurts on that level, but man, start giving the guy a little bit more praise because he deserves it. All right. Also from last night, this man was making a scene.
I know I'm better than this. I know. I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
Jameis. I made the joke earlier to some people when I was talking to him about what Jameis was doing last night. I think personally that Jameis right here, right now, could be more popular than Jason Kelce, better than Jason Kelce in the media. To me, I think it would be really in Jameis's best interest. And I get it because it will always be there. But he's hot right now. And you got to strike when the iron's hot. Jameis Winston he's 31 years old, won the national championship from Florida State, played for a number of teams. I'm just trying to see how long he's actually been in the league. He was drafted in 2015. So he's carved out a nice career, but now he's entering into that area of the career where it's like I'm playing pinball here. He asked somebody yesterday, he asked Saquon Barkley where he should end up. Who's looking for a quarterback at Saquon? I think they're looking for a quarterback in New York. I was cracking up about that. Nice work, Saquon. Tampa Bay for 5, New Orleans for 4, Cleveland last year. It might be in Jameis's best interest to just say, you know what? I'm about to take on this media thing.
Get out.
And go cash in and make some crazy, crazy money at the age of 31 and elevate it up to another level. But ultimately, he is a quarterback. You know that people will be calling him left and right over the years. He could probably play that game where he plays for a number of franchises to close of the career, and the media will always be there. There's no argument with that. But, man, he is not afraid. He is funny on the microphone. He is fresh. I'm a huge Jameis fan. I think we all are. So that's easy to say. But last night he was ridiculous. So to me, if I'm his agent, I'm going, Jameis, this might be your opportunity right here, right now to walk away, have your health, and let's go cash in.
I think the best thing for Jameis, and I wrote this last night for Crossing Broad, I think the best thing for Jameis would for there to be a Manning cast, but it's literally just Jameis. Like if Jameis was sitting there on Thursday Night Football on an alternate broadcast on Prime, the Jameis cast, like something. If you put an alternate broadcast on Prime Video of the game on the big screen, and you just put Jameis in a green screen on the bottom right corner, just talking about football and that game for 3 hours. I mean, it would be absolutely hilarious. It would run laps around the Manning cast, first of all.
Oh, God, yeah. Manning cast on last legs. That's on its last legs.
Yeah. Dude, if you put Jameis live on a microphone for 3 hours during one football game a week, I think it would probably be the funniest part of the NFL each week. Like the dude's just hilarious. Like the funniest part about him is like you just never know what's going to come out of his mouth next. Like it's the most random thing possible. He was throwing things at Devontae Smith last night up on the podium, and he was yelling at Travis Kelce. Like, dude, he's hilarious, dude. He's so funny.
Yeah, he's good. He's very good. So again, last night, not much to take away as far as media night, but that is the story that is right now with the Eagles. Now, all eyes on the injury report when we get to practice a little bit more from tomorrow. We'll see what happens as far as the offensive line is concerned. What's the latest with Kenny Gainwell? Saquon, I know, was asked about it last night. I believe he said he's fine. Again, Jalen, some people are wondering. I mean, he proved everything that I needed to see in that Commanders game, but whatever. So all eyes will be on the injury report for the Eagles' perspective, especially with the offensive line. But it seems like everybody's going to be good to go, as it is a pretty big game. Now, let's go ahead and shift gears. And again, I can't believe we're doing this in Super Bowl week with the Eagles in the Super Bowl. But let's talk about the NBA. Let's bring it to the 76ers, and then we'll talk about Luka, who finally spoke to the media, and Anthony Davis did as well. I have another take. Sam and Sean Barnard were fantastic last night. Yeah. Sam is on fire. He's got me believing in the conspiracy theory that the Mavericks, as far as the general manager is concerned, with Nico and what he's trying to do, Nico Harrison, with the relationship that he had with Rob Pelinka, with the Lakers, essentially being with Kobe all those years. So he's looking at the LA Lakers in a different light than I think a lot of other general managers are. And that's just fair to say due to what he's his history with that franchise, dealing with that franchise and the business side of things now, and how brain dead that deal is. But you see today that the Mavericks aren't done just yet. And I don't think they will be done even after this move that happened to deal with the Philadelphia 76ers 2 days after moving Anthony Davis, or 2 days after trading for Anthony Davis, excuse me. The Mavericks made another move today. The Mavs will receive Caleb Martin from the 76ers in exchange for Quentin Grimes from Kansas, 2025 second round pick, and a 2025 second round pick. Sorry. Dallas, look, when it comes down to this play, I know Martin's a little bit longer and he's got he's been around the league a little bit more. He has more experience in the playoffs. I think Grimes is a better player. Yeah. And, it was pointed out to me earlier, if you look at, Grimes this season, as far as his numbers are concerned, 47 games, 10.2 points per game, 3.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists, shooting 39% from three. It's his final year of his contract, so we understand how that takes place. But bottom line is the fact that the Sixers were able to move Caleb Martin and bring in a younger guy who, in my mind and for everybody else's mind, is better. I think this is a thumbs up for the 76ers on top of that draft pick that was theirs. They get back. And then from the Mavericks perspective, they are all in this year. That doesn't mean it's going to work. But this move right here, right now, pulling in a Caleb Martin who has had some great playoff performances, but what's he been doing with the 76ers? He's 29 years old, 8.5 points over five. He's averaged 8.5 points over 5 seasons entering this season, including the last year at the Miami Heat. It was in Miami where Martin developed the reputation. He averaged 10 points and shot 35% from 3-point range. So, look, Caleb Martin is an okay piece. He's a nice player. He hasn't really worked out too well and raised his game up and elevated everybody else's game around him. Of course, the Sixers have been a disaster, so I don't know if that's fair, but it's fresh, it's new, and Nico don't give a damn. He's all in right here, right now, but I just don't see this working out for the Dallas Mavericks because I just don't see them winning the championship this year. And if you're selling all your capital, you're all in, you're traded draft picks, getting rid of young players, and they're not done yet because they still have some picks to move. I just don't see this being as a positive for the Dallas Mavericks, and I'm just curious what the hell is going on down there.
Yeah, no, I didn't really understand this from the Mavericks perspective either. I actually like this deal for the Sixers a lot. I mean, I think they got a younger guy in Grimes, and they also got another pick back for a guy that hasn't played in a month. And even when he was playing, I don't think he really lived up to the sort of playoff Caleb Martin that we were told we were getting, at least so far from what he played this season. The Sixers are in a really weird spot right now. There's no really other way to look at it. They're in a spot where they went basically all in the offseason. Their star can't stay healthy. Their other star can't stay healthy. Their third star was out for a month and a half and is now back and has been absolutely hooping the last 2 weeks. But this team's in a spot right now it's just what do you do? I don't think you sell everything, but you're not buying because there's no way you go into this deadline and you start buying. You don't know, and everyone's waiting for the Embiid injury report and maybe he can come back over this weekend, but there's no promise he's going to play the next game or the next 5 games. That's kind of where I think I'm at is they're just in a weird spot. And I think if you aren't getting what you thought you were maybe going to have from Martin, then I think you try and get younger. You try and get your pick back that actually was your draft pick. And I think you continue to just make these little sort of moves. I don't think they're going to be huge sellers or huge buyers. They're just in a very sort of awkward spot because now they're hitting the point where it's, midway through the season and they're still in the 11th seed in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. And everyone keeps saying, oh, they're a game and a half out of a team who kind of gave up and they're 4 games out of this. And I feel like they've been in this 11 seed for the last 2 months. if they're gonna start making up ground, like they need to start going. So like we don't just have all this time to just sit around and hope you jump up. But then I'm also like, what is our goal? Like if I asked Daryl Morey right now what the goal of the Sixers was this season, what would he say? Because is your goal to get into the 10 seed, hope you win a playing game, and then get blown out by Boston in the first round? Like, is that your goal? Like, I just don't know what.
They had a 26-point lead against them without Joel Embiid, without Jimmy Butler.
It sounds like the playoffs. It sounds like the last 6 years whenever they've had to play Boston.
Daryl Morey would look you in the eye and say, it's steady in the boat. It's been a rough, venture to get to where we're at right now, but we are getting Joel Embiid back. He will be back. And if he stays healthy, we're going to have, chances are, the best player on the floor, no matter who. The same stuff that's been pitched to us for the last few seasons.
It's
and then
just
Paul George as well, same thing, right? But to me, I think, look, they got a great player back, or a really good player. Let's just put it that way. Grimes is a good player. I think he's a better player than Caleb Martin. He's younger. The contract is definitely interesting because you don't know how that's going to work out, and which is a huge deal. Dallas would have had he's playing out his final year of a contract, and this offseason he will be a restricted free agent. Dallas would have the chance to match any deal he found in the NBA market. This is from Mavs Moneyball. They said, given that so many teams are over the salary cap, finding a deal in the 10-figure range seems unlikely. The element of the trade is a puzzling move. So that's from the Dallas Mavericks perspective, not one, but two. And we're going to get into Luka in just a second. But from this move, from the Sixers standpoint, I think that they did win this trade. I'm okay with moving off the Caleb Martin deal, right? He's been signed for 4 years for the next 4 seasons. So they did get a big bang for their buck for Caleb Martin. So nice work by them. They deserve some credit on that move. And I don't think this changes much from the standpoint of whether or not they're going to have success or more success or less success, because Caleb Martin is no longer in the Sixers uniform. As you pointed out, he's missed a ton of games. So where I'm at, this is a win from the 76ers. To me, from the national perspective, from even here locally, this still is just about the Dallas Mavericks. And that's where I want to go now, because yesterday I mentioned this a number of times, and shame on me not remembering Chandler Parsons, the great basketball player that he was. Anyways, he does a show for FanDuel, and this is what he had to say.
I got to wonder what Cuban thinks of all of this. Obviously, he's not the majority owner anymore. He's still in the mix, though. You think he's thrilled about this?
I texted him, and I said, I'm so confused, and he wrote back, that makes 2 of us. So that kind of tells you right there he wasn't involved.
Yeah. So Nico gets out there on the desk when he makes the trade with Jason Kidd, the head coach, and he said Kidd didn't know until the midnight hour. The only people that knew, like Cuban didn't know, right? And it's not to say that Cuban would step in and be like, whoa, because he can't. He's not in that role anymore. These new owners, apparently, they're all buku'd up. They got crazy amounts of money. They bought the team. There's some history behind that, all that. You can read up on it, do yourself, as far as the details on that one. Apparently, they're trying to get into the world of the casinos in Texas, something silly like that. So that's why they bought the Dallas Mavericks. Anyways, people are saying that they are all about the now. Still, though, I just am not buying that, because I don't think, and the odds will tell you, that they dropped. They were 9-1 to win the West with Luka. Without Luka, in replacement with Anthony Davis, they dropped to 16-1. So it's not about the now. It's not about the future. Luka's 25 years old. Yeah, Luka's not the now.
If Luka's not the now, then who is? A 32-year-old injury-prone Anthony Davis? Like,
good question.
What are we doing here? Like, dude, I mean, that it's bizarre. I mean, obviously Luka was shocked. He said today they made a decision. I don't know why. Like, you have to be shocked if you're Luka. Like,
everybody's shocked. Like, there's not one person that's not shocked.
No.
Yeah.
And no matter what Luka would say, like, Luka knows he's one of the 3 best basketball players in the league, probably. I don't think he thought he was getting traded from a team who just went to the NBA Finals last year.
because he doesn't play some defense.
Because apparently he eats too much fast food. So we're going to trade a 25-year-old superstar because he eats McDonald's 3 times a week and not twice a week.
Yeah, exactly.
After break, we get the food review, maybe?
That's it. I will sink my teeth into that. I just want to say, like, this dude, Nico, seems like he's way out over his skis. And, you know, the conspiracy theory that's out there is that he has the relationship with Pelinka, has the relationship with the Lakers. That will be a landing spot if needed. He just set that organization up for the next decade if they choose to sign Luka. Luka he'll be able to move off in a year and a half, but I don't think he's leaving LA. The Lakers are the Lakers. They treat superstars very well out there, so he's going to be there.
Nowhere.
And this trade makes no sense in the basketball, in the now, in the future. Nobody knew about this, from Jason Kidd to Mark Cuban to the owners, maybe. Again, this wasn't out there. He said that they've been talking about this for a few weeks. I don't think they were. I really think that that's BS. I think
if you're talking about something for a few weeks in sports today, it's going to get out. And that caught. I don't think there was a single person that wasn't utterly shocked. I mean, I checked to make sure it was the real Shams like 6 times.
Everybody did. Even Shams, when he got the text message, he was like, dude, what, like, is this real? Like, how is this real? How about the engagement
by Shams too?
How about the engagement on that?
Dude, yeah, what is it up to now? It was like,
is that it's got to be the most like engaged
tweet ever. 94 million.
Most engagement via tweet. We got to look that up.
94 million views.
Well, Quentin Grimes to the Sixers got 6.3 million, so we got some work to do. All right, Luke Arcaini hanging with us. We'll continue the conversation. Hey, fun day to have Sean Barnard in studio. He'll be joining the show coming up at 5 o'clock. Ryan Beef Coyle is going to make an appearance a little bit later. Those guys are handling the duties of hosting Finish the Story from 6 to 8 p.m. tonight right here on The Gambler. 8 p.m., I got Roy Burton talking all things Super Bowl 59 with the Chiefs perspective. I'll give you a little bit more details on that one. 9 o'clock, back live again. Last night, I went live with Joe Castro via a YouTube channel and all socials with Eagles at Night. Tonight, I'll be with Mark Henry Jr. Got Luke with me tomorrow. It's a full week for us here on The Gambler. Nothing but content, staying fresh on your timelines with all the breaking news and pressing issues that are happening right now involving Super Bowl 59 from the Birds and the Chiefs. We will keep this conversation going. I got some other dumb stuff to mix in, but on the other side, let's fire up DraftKings Sportsbook, take a look at some of those props. And, oh, by the way, back in my day, Luke, I have one for you. Okay. And it's a shame because these are like the moments that are really cool sports moments that if you were a fan going to the game tonight, you'd be like, oh man, I remember that game because of this specific reason. And I don't remember the last time we've seen it, but I know that it has happened plenty in previous years. So we'll talk about exactly what I'm breaking down on the other side. It's the Daily Ticket. Luke Arcaini hanging with me more after this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
We're 295 southbound, 73 to Warwick Road, where we just got rid of a crash. 95 northbound, stop and go Allegheny up to Bridge. A Schuylkill westbound, Jan University to Vine, at City to Belmont. Eastbound, so Montgomery Drive to South. All right, to tell total traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Hey, Sean Brace here for DraftKings Sportsbook. Now listen up. This ain't the little itty bitty teeny tiny bowl. No, this is the Super Bowl 59. You need to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns, that's the key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and you could score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Eagles are underdogs at +1.5, and just the way we like it. The better team, and everyone is on Mahomes and the Chiefs. We'll see how this one plays out on Sunday. Hey, new customers, listen up. You can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. All you got to do is just download a DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code BRACE. That's code BRACE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. And that's only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call no gambler. 21 plus, Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosting the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Favorite station, preset. Favorite artist, preset. Favorite podcast, preset.
We know you're loving the new preset feature on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. See it now, along with even more great features. It's everything you love about your car radio in the palm of your hand.
iHeartRadio.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
The Birds are on Bourbon Street, and we're all over it for you. Right here on The Gambler.
Oh, this is a hard bed right here. You like this one? Sounds like a Home Depot commercial.
Sounds like I'm watching a Dude Perfect video. That's what it sounds like. You ever get into Dude Perfect like 10 years ago? Those guys are awesome.
They've carved out a nice little niche for
I used to
themselves.
love those
Oh,
guys.
yeah? You were a Dude
everyone
Perfect guy.
did. Everyone did. If you played any sort of sport, anyone around my age 10 years ago, you loved Dude Perfect. Everyone did. Anybody from the Gambler that's in here, anyone around my age, if you played a sport, I guarantee you that you loved Dude Perfect.
Did you watch Dude Perfect on YouTube?
Oh, all the time. When I was like 9 or 10, yeah, all the time. All the time.
Interesting.
The best.
They've carved out an incredible niche for themselves. You know, they are a force. They have fun.
I mean,
Like,
they had a $300 million net worth as of 2024.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So they
what do they have? An Amazon channel? They got their own stream for an NFL game. Like, yeah, they're next level. They were like the first tricksters, first trick shot artist, right?
Big time. Yeah, they all went to Texas A&M together, and then they all started they made these stupid, really bad quality trick shot videos in the backyard of their house at A&M. And then one day they just blew the heck up. And dude, yeah,
dude, perfect.
It's a way to blow up overnight, dude. Perfect. Yeah.
What? How did they come up with the name? I have no idea.
I don't know, honestly. That would be something.
I you're a dude perfect kind of.
Oh, I am.
Come on, young Luke. No, I kid. No, what I would say is it's funny because you see that, like, what gets me is the golf trick shots. So,
There's
all the golf.
Way. The way they figured out their name was because in one of their videos, one of the guys said, "Dude, perfect." And then it just stuck. Because when they started, they weren't originally Dude Perfect. It was just like, I think the main guy's just like actual YouTube account. And then they got like that video like blew up. And then they were like, we should probably keep this thing going. It's a good thing they kept it going, because this is the one time I will ever say that they did catch a lot of flack from specifically the golf community. They got a chance to go play Augusta.
Yes.
And so they do. I don't know if you've ever seen their all sports battle, or basically they'll play golf,
hockey sticks,
use hockey sticks, football, baseball, and they did that at Augusta with Bryson DeChambeau. And that's what I said. They all deserve to be like hunted like a deer out in headlights.
Yes.
There's other than that, their videos used to be awesome, but.
Look, to me, that's when I look at them, of course, you get a little bit of inspiration. And at the same time, man, those dudes are happy. They were like, yo, let's shoot our dumb trick shots, edited it up. And next thing you know, it blew up. So more power to them. And they seem like good people. So good for them. And they've built up an empire. But all I do know is that when I do watch the golf videos, I crack up because of the people. They'll be sitting there with the 56 in their hand, and they're trying to hit these ping pong balls into the red Solo cups that are like the shot glasses from across. And it's like 8 hours later, he finally got. It's just like, if you got that much time to do it, man, I salute you. Good for you.
That's your 9 to 5, and then it's a pretty sweet gig.
That's right. All right, so with the trade that went down, and if you're just joining us, we do have some breaking news a little earlier today. 76ers made a move. Watch out now. Quentin Grimes from the Dallas Mavericks is coming over in a 2025 second-round pick for Caleb Martin, who is a little bit more a little bit older than Quentin Grimes, and Quentin Grimes, for my money, is a little bit better ball player. The contract will be an issue, but we'll see what Sean Barnard has to say about that a little bit later in the program. I do know this, though, like the 76ers are playing the Dallas Mavericks, right? Tonight, the Sixers are actually a 4-point favorite. So that tells you how far off and how bad the Mavs are at this point in time of the year with all the trades and everything along those lines. I feel for anybody that has a ticket that's going to tonight's game. That's one. But two is, I feel like, this is one of these moments where if you are going to that game and let's say Quentin Grimes, who's just traded today, and he suits up for the 76ers and plays, like that's a game you'll remember. I was at the Quentin Grimes game, regardless if he scores 10, 5, 16, whatever it is. Like, yeah, Grimes was traded, and yeah, man, that's pretty cool right there. We were able to catch him, but they did change it, and it happens. It happened in baseball. A guy was traded the same day, and he walked across, I believe it was last year, it was a White Sox player, if I'm not mistaken. And he walked across to the opposing dugout and played. But in the NBA, they changed the language up, and it just doesn't happen as often. And, oh, by the way, with the guys that are breaking news, like Woj, like this deal isn't even, I don't think this deal is official yet. I think this is still a reported trade.
Yeah, so there hasn't been anything from the Sixers or from either of the teams, but it's
correct.
It's just about going through.
So that takes away a little bit, man. I
So
just
do
wish
you have one of those moments, just a random game that you went to where you're like nobody else remembers this game. Like if a person brings it up, then people will be like, yeah, but like, do you just have like a random game that you were at? Because I have one.
Oh, you do?
I do. It wasn't a trade or anything like that, but it was a Sixers game.
Okay.
I was at the TJ McConnell triple-double.
No.
And it was electric. We were in the corner right by the Sixers bench when they dumped all the water on them after the game. Dude, it was incredible. They were up like 20 something. Everyone was screaming for him to get that last rebound. That was a game where it's like nothing, like it wasn't like I was at like the Reese Hoskins bat spike. Like that's not in comparison to that. But like if I'm thinking of a random game that I was at, it's probably that one, or it was also the Alec Boehm the I hate this place game. That was also the one I was at, and everyone was like, what just happened? And then I saw it on Twitter and I was like, oh God.
TJ McConnell, he averages a triple-double once every 3 seasons, it looks like here. 2018, that was Luke, you're coming up on the anniversary.
What day was it?
February 12th, 2018.
Oh, we're getting there. Wow, that
you got to do. You know what? We got to hit up TJ McConnell. Gerald's got connections. We need to hit up TJ to bring him on and see if we can. Maybe the Sixers are playing the Pacers coming up here soon. But that was the Sixers and Knicks. Yep. It was a 10, 10, and 11 game and 6 steals.
Yeah,
the McConnell ball. That's all right. So
unbelievable.
I will put my hand in the air right now and tell you I was not a McConnell guy in the beginning.
Really?
I was not a McConnell guy because, and I got it wrong, and I was wrong. I was wrong. I just thought to myself, like, all right, it's like, aren't we better than this guy? Like, do we really need this guy? And I was dead wrong.
I'd take him back right now.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I'd take him back in a second right now.
Even if he played 5 minutes off the bench, it's the best 5-minute burst you can get from somebody off the bench.
Every time.
And he's obviously proved his worth a little bit more than that over the years. So I was wrong on TJ McConnell. I've come clean many, many times about that. But if I'm not mistaken, that was like the first time where I'm like going, all right, maybe I might be off on McConnell. If you can go out there and give me a triple-double in the NBA, I don't care who's playing. The Knicks were terrible. Bottom line is you're a pretty damn good basketball player. So I was wrong.
10 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists, and 6 steals off of the bench.
That's a good one, man. I like that pull.
That was an awesome game.
It's so stupid. TJ McConnell, great stuff. All right, Quentin Grimes coming to the Sixers. Any thoughts on that? Get involved in the conversation at Fox PHL Gambler, at Fox PHL Gambler. All right, now let's keep the conversation going as far as the Super Bowl is concerned, and of course the Eagles. We were talking about it in the Gambler chat. We're still holding steady a 1.5. 48.5 is our total on DraftKings Sportsbook. Again, money line continues to come down. We are now at point blank even money, plus 100 for the Eagles. 2 days ago it was plus 110. Yesterday plus 105. Now plus 100. What does that mean? Money's coming in on the Birds. Now, will that mean that we're going to see this spread dip eventually if it continues to happen this way? But I did see Mark Henry Jr. put in our Gambler chat that somebody out in Vegas, somebody that runs a shop out there, said that he pretty much is a believer that this is going to go off at 1.5. The Chiefs favored by a 1.5. And I don't really make too much out of it, but I do know that this is a question that's been discussed on the timeline. Like, is the wrong team favored here? I don't think they're it. I don't think the wrong team is favored. No. And I think the Eagles win this game, but I understand it from the sportsbook operator's perspective. With the Chiefs and Mahomes and what they've done to get to this point. And oh, by the way, what they've done over the previous 2 seasons, what's at stake as far as the history is concerned. The right team is favored. And with the 0.5 point, that's the Mahomes tax coming in there. So I understand this number completely. The one thing that is throwing me off is the total at 48.5. I can't believe that came down. You never see Super Bowl totals come down. No way. Not between these two teams. And I saw somebody yesterday discussing this game, a sharp out there on one of the various channels, a guy that has a pretty good reputation. He was talking about how the Eagles are to control the tempo, the pace, the line of scrimmage. He thinks that this is a stone cold under. I think you're rolling the dice and dancing with the devil if you're going to take the under between these two offenses.
Yeah, this isn't a game like I could never bet the under in an Eagles Super Bowl. Like there's like something about it to me that I'm going to sit here and root for the Eagles to win. But if they get to 47 points, I'm going to be like, no more point. Like, no, like I just could not possibly root for an under. But at the same time, I also think maybe people are starting to realize that there's two really good defenses out on the field on Sunday. Like this, it is two unbelievably all around football teams on Sunday. Like there's been years where you go in and for example, like the Rams-Bengals Super Bowl, that Bengals offense was awesome, but that Bengals defense wasn't that good, right? Like that Rams defense was awesome, but that Rams offense wasn't anything like insanely special. Like that was a good Rams offense, but they weren't like some top tier offense that entire year. So like I think they're starting to realize like this game, and if I had to lay it, I would definitely lay the over. I think one of these teams is going to put up 30 points. And I wouldn't be surprised if both teams put up 30, even with how good the Eagles defense is, because once again, it's Mahomes, Kelsey, it's Andy in the biggest game of their season once again. I would give the better chance for the Eagles to put up 30 than I would the Chiefs. I think the Eagles offense matches up better against the Chiefs defense than the Chiefs offense matches up against our defense. I think our defense is all around better. Where I think they could get us once again, which this will lead us into some props, is I'm a little nervous about Travis Kelsey. As I think everybody is whenever you play him. But the Eagles have not defended tight ends well at all, especially in the playoffs. And the issue with Kelsey is like, he's not some crazy, like textbook route runner. He'll like run a route and then Mahomes will scramble out of the pocket. And then Kelsey will just like dip to a random part of the field and they find each other every time. So like, it has to be a big game for CJ. It has to be a big game for Reed Blankenship, because those are going to be the guys that once he gets past guys like Zach Bond in the middle of the field, it's going to be on the safeties to sort of mark up on Kelsey. So as far as the total, I would definitely lean the over because I think there's going to be a lot of offense, but at the same time, it is also two very good defenses. So if I was leaning away, it would be the over. But it is nice, once again, like you said, to see this money line continue to drop. Yeah. And I think I'm gonna jump on it today because I don't want to see that go into the minus before I get it. So if you give me exactly even money right now, it's about as good as I can get, I think.
Do you have any wagers already in pocket?
Not in the slip. I was treating tomorrow as my get all my bets
parlay day. Okay. All right.
And then I usually place most of my Eagles bets on Saturdays. And then I wake up and I place like 2 vibes plays on Sunday. So there'll be 1 or 2, $5 to win $8,000 plays that are placed like hungover on Sunday morning. That's like usually the scenario. But yeah, most of the bets tomorrow. I love Devontae Smith props. I love them so much. He's
very good. Yep.
He's killed Spags in all 3 games that he's played. 122 yards, 99 yards, 100 yards on the dot. That is the 3 games that he's played against this Chiefs team in his career. I think it's going to be wide receiver heavy. I think it's going to be a big game for AJ. I think it's going to be a big game for Smitty, which does lead me probably to Hurts as over on passing yards. But yeah, I'm really liking Smitty. I think it's a low number, and I get it, I guess, but it's a number that I'm going to bite into. And if it loses, it loses. But I love the number on Smitty right now. I believe it's 51.5 on DraftKings. I like that a lot.
All right. Luke will be live. He's holding down the fort for all things Finish the Story on Thursday. So that'll be a good little setup there as far as what your bet slips are for all the props that you're going to be playing as far as parlays are concerned. So that'll be something that we will be sinking our teeth in over the next few days here. We do have some new ones added on DraftKings Sportsbook. We'll hit on those on the other side. And everybody's favorite, the cross-sport specials, where we start to involve the other sports players, Giannis, Cade Cunningham, Rudy Gobert, Dallas Goedert versus Tyrese Maxey. Ooh, we got some good ones that feature the 76ers. So we'll hit some cross-sport specials from DraftKings Sportsbook on the other side. Also have an interesting conversation to get into from last night. The Eagles owner, Jeffrey Lurie, started discussing the future and when it comes to the stadium here in Philadelphia. 2032, we're going to be looking ahead to the future. This is George Jetson territory, man. We should have flying cars by then if we're all alive at that point in time. Anyways, we'll discuss that one because I was a no to this question, but I think I'm changing my tune. We'll break that one down on the other side. It's the Daily Ticket. Luke Arcaini's hanging with me till 4:30. Sean Barnard in studio. We'll talk all things NBA. More after this.
Grease the polls because Bourbon Street has officially turned midnight green.
How about our quarterback? I knew he was going to play that way. I knew it. Don't doubt him. All he does is win.
All things Big Game 59 right here on The Gambler.
The Gambler and Gary Barbera on the Boulevard want to put $1,000 in your hand. Keep it locked right here to The Gambler for your chance to win $1,000, all courtesy by our friends over at Gary Barbera on the Boulevard. Each weekday, that's 9 times a day, you'll hear a keyword at the top of the hour, and you could win $1,000. So, is The Gambler and Gary Barbera the best? Boy, I guess.
Gary Barbera's Super Gold to stay in control of the most cheap sold for $16,666. Right, Brandon Graham?
Boy, I guess.
Boom, shakalaka.
Cheap.
Coach Sirianni, is Barbera the best?
Boy, I guess. Go Birds.
I know, yeah, let's still sign.
CEOs you should know, brought to you by Comcast Business.
Justin Jude, Global CEO of LKQ Corporation. Our mission is to be the global value-added distributor of products and solutions to our customers. We were founded as a automotive recycler. So think of a junkyard, but we professionalized the business. We processed over 800,000 vehicles. And so we like to make sure that those vehicles do not end up in a landfill. Chemicals don't end up in the soil. And so we recycle, detoxify those vehicles, and then sell those products. We make money at it, but we're doing it from a sustainable standpoint. We created a foundation in 2020. We donate over $4 million. $1 million of that typically goes to employees or employee families, children for scholarships. We also have an employee relief fund. Think of some of the hurricanes that have occurred in Florida and some of the other markets where we will help not just our employees, but also help the communities for which we operate. It's critical for us to be known as a good corporate citizen and a good community supporter. We created this foundation and make sure we have a good opportunity to allocate that money out. We operate in Ukraine. We have 50 locations in Ukraine, so we not just help our employees in Ukraine, but also help some of the communities in those areas that are suffering just from the Russian invasion. LKQ being over 1,600 locations across the globe, 48,000 employees. If you really want to work for a company or support a company, buy from a company that is all about sustainability, that's how we were founded.
To know more, go to lkqcorp.com. Comcast Business, the complete connectivity solution, cybersecurity, internet, and mobile, all from one provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Looking for a place to witness history when Kansas City takes on Philadelphia? Dave & Buster's has you covered. Massive TVs, next-level food and drinks, and unlimited video games for just $20. Enjoy your favorite cold domestic draft beers for just $5 all day long, and fuel up for the game with 20 mouthwatering wings for only $20. These deals and more are available all day long on Sunday. Don't miss out on the best party in town. Head to Dave & Buster's for unbeatable fun, food, and drinks.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. So whatever your customers listen to, they'll hear your message. Plus, only iHeart can extend your message to audiences across broadcast radio. Think podcasting can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, radio, and podcasting. Call 844-844-iHeart to get started. That's 844-844-iHeart.
Monster BTK, the latest installment of the critically acclaimed Monster franchise, exposes the chilling story of one of America's most infamous cases that shook Wichita, Kansas to its core.
When people said BTK, you think of a wild-eyed Manson-like character. What we didn't understand is he was the guy next door.
Listen to Monster BTK on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Monster BTK to start listening.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for. From smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
The Sixers have swung a trade with the Mavericks. They acquired guard Quentin Grimes from Dallas for forward Caleb Barton. They're getting set to host the Mavs tonight. Eagles center Cam Jurgens says he's good to go for Super Bowl 59 after recovering from a back injury during the bye week. Landon Dickerson will move back to guard. And NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says there have been discussions about launching a professional flag football league. I'm Scott Davidson.
Super Bowl 59 is set, and it's going to be big. You can score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. New customers download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SPORTS to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. That's code SPORTS, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Addiction can be isolating, but there is strength in numbers. Together, we can bring out the best in those who are in need of recovery while removing stigma. The Phoenix has built a nationwide community in support of people living a sober lifestyle. In partnership with 1 Million Strong, we're uniting the music industry, fans, and artists to take action to transform the way people think about addiction and recovery. Are you affected by addiction, or do you know someone who is? Visit 1millionstrong.com to connect with the Phoenix community and find the support you need.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Good afternoon. Starting the Tuesday drive home with a couple of crashes. One in Lower Marion, Matson Ford Road at Gulf Road. One at Tredyffrin, Old Eagle School Road at Upper Gulf Road. In Chester County, 202 southbound Jan Westchester Pike, the High Street with a crash. On the Schuylkill, just some volume eastbound heavy. Blue Route to Belmont, Montgomery Drive to south. Westbound Jan University to Vine and so City to Belmont. The Vine Expressway busy both ways. Schuylkill to Broad. 95 northbound Jan Allegheny up to Bridge. Lyra to Tella, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
Justin Jude, Global CEO of LKQ Corporation.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SOUND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SOUND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SOUND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
When it comes to sending last-minute Valentine's Day gifts,
Nobody delivers like Target Circle 360. Get the perfect surprise delivered right to their door with Target Circle 360's unlimited same-day delivery on orders over $35. Start with a dozen red roses, then choose from our delicious assortment of favorite day candy and more. Crush your Valentine's Day celebration by sending something to everyone on your list. Only at Target. Restrictions apply.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Gain Super Flings are here to take your laundry to the next level.
Talking about Gain Super Flings. Super size laundry packs. These things are huge. Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings laundry packs have 4 times the Oxy cleaning power and 3 times the Febreze freshness versus Gain Original Liquid.
Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings for next level laundry.
Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD273D, Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia. Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, money. That's money. Enter it now.
FoxPHLGambler.com. Once again, FoxPHLGambler.com right now.
Big game and even bigger bets. Tackling all the props, spreads, and value plays in between. You're listening to the Daily Ticket with Sean Brace, right here on The Gambler.
Yes, indeed. And Luke Arcaini with us here. So weird. It's going to take me a little bit to get over it. Literally, we've been doing this for 5+ years now. Shout out to the people that said we won the last 6 months. Thank you. We're still here, damn it. We're still here. And if you're just joining us, I got banged with a DMCA violation via my socials. And I'm not trying to lose the account that I've had forever, although whatever, it might be better off for me in the long run. And I'll tell you what, I'm focusing more on our YouTube page than ever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all 2025. I flipped the page. I said, I'm focusing on YouTube. And it's probably way too long. And pick and choose your battles. I don't care. For me, like I didn't care about the TikTok, and like Instagram was cool, whatever. I want a place that I could put up some long form clips, and I probably should have been more aggressive with the YouTube channel way back, but I wasn't. It is what it is. No better time than now. So I said 2025, we're going to do that. Shout out to cousin Nikki.
Cousin Nikki.
Curcio, Curcio, C-U-R-C-I-O, Curcio, I think.
That'd be my guess.
It's the cousin. It's the
He's
cousin.
He's the cousin.
Yeah, cousin. Anyways, he's helping out. He's doing a lot of work behind the scenes, helping us get stuff going. And we've got a lot of followers. Shout out to the people. Had Joe Castro on the hook yesterday. He was great. He's got a great following on YouTube. So please give us a follow, subscribe, as they say, over on our YouTube channel, just Fox Sports, The Gambler. All right. We opened up just having some fun, loosely debating what it would mean for Jalen Hurts to get that Super Bowl. I just want to revisit this because this is something that's definitely on the timeline, and it was a good little hit that we had going in the beginning. And there's, like I said, there's not much happening in the Super Bowl week. They had media night last night. We're going to get to a Jeffrey Lurie clip in just a second, what he had to say potentially about putting a dome or a new stadium with a dome or retractable roof in Philadelphia for the next build. We will discuss that in just a second. But, when it comes to Jalen Hurts and what he's been able to do, and I get it. There's levels to players. There's great players like Barry Bonds was in a different stratosphere versus, give me a player like out there that was a home run, like Ryan Howard, right? Yeah, understood. There's two different players there, just way on different levels. But, would you say that about a Barry Bonds and a
Albert Pujols? Would you say that about a Barry Bonds? And Barry Bonds is the greatest hitter I've ever seen in my life. He got one pitch to hit, and he hit it out every single time. So it's kind of hard to have that conversation, but there are other great players. And what I would say is when you're talking about Jalen Hurts versus Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Mahomes is in a different stratosphere. And it's mainly because of the success that he's had in the postseason. If Mahomes hasn't had the success that he's had winning the Super Bowls, getting to the Super Bowls, winning the AFC Championship games, coming back, driving down the field, that's all part of it. If he wasn't having that type of success, then I don't know if he's at the top of the list versus Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. Lamar Jackson's resume is deep with those MVPs. It's hard to argue. But when it comes to having a discussion like about those three guys, like, don't tell me Jalen Hurts will never be on their level as a quarterback. Will he never be on their level throwing the football? I could get there with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's a great passer. He's a better passer than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a better runner than Joe Burrow. Jalen Hurts does more in short yardage situations than Joe Burrow. It's part of the position. So it's like when we get into these nuanced discussions, I just don't see how you could sit there and tell me he'll never be in the running versus those guys. And if we were to, quote, have a, I'm using air quotes on radio here, a draft, and you had to draft those four players right here, right now, who you taking? If Jalen Hurts gets a Super Bowl, does that change? I think it does for me.
Should.
I think it does.
It should. He hasn't lost a game that he started and finished since the last day of the Phillies regular season, September 28th. That's the last time he lost, or it's the last time he lost a football game that he didn't start and finish, or that he started and finished. And the last time that he lost a football game that he started and finished when A.J. Brown played was even further back than that. Like, this guy's a winner. Like, that's the bottom line. And the Eagles are set up right now as to where you don't need the best quarterback in football for the Eagles to win. Jalen Hurts doesn't have to throw for 350 passing yards a game for the Eagles to win. He doesn't have to stand on his head every game just so the Eagles can sneak out a 5-point win. Like, it seems like we've gotten to this point where for Josh Allen to go beat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game, he would have to play the best game of his career. And he'd still probably lose, because that's what's happened the 4 times that he's faced off against Mahomes in this AFC Championship game. Or someone like Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, he's had to play some of the best games of his career just for this Ravens team to even advance in the playoffs. Like, the Eagles aren't set up to need a guy like that right now. The Eagles have a guy in Jalen Hurts who goes out. He doesn't turn the ball over, right? This Eagles team started off 2-2, and it was Hurts. You know, there were picks and there were stupid fumbles, and all last season it was Hurts turns the ball over too much, and then he just completely flips a switch and he stops turning the ball over. I couldn't tell you the last time he turned the ball over, and if you want to count. If you want to count the safety in the Rams game, then fine. Yeah. But I couldn't tell you, and I mean, you probably know, but like, if you ask a guy, all we wanted out of this guy, all we wanted was going into this season, all that people wanted on all these radio stations across Philadelphia was for Jalen Hurts to take care of the ball. That's all they asked for. Take care of the ball. We have the best receiving core in the league. We have the best offensive line in the league. We have the best running back in football. And now we have the best defense in football. Just don't turn the ball over. And that's all that he's done. He has not turned the ball over.
I just want
to plays anymore.
I just want to bring this up because it's got to come into the conversation. It has to. And I'm a huge Lamar Jackson fan. I think we all are. But Lamar Jackson has struggled now with turnovers in the playoffs. It's not something out of the blue. It's something that you could almost say, I expect it to happen until it does not happen. and it's unfair. But at the end of the day, you're trying to do too much, and you throw the ball up for grabs in Buffalo. You can't do that. You're trying to do too much and shove a defender off you in midfield and try to get the ball out to the guy that's out waiting out there in the flat, and you fumble, and it gets picked up, and it translates to 10 total points, and you lose that football game. That's the type of thing that Jalen Hurts does not do. Now, he did it in the Super Bowl, and that's a big reason why they ended up losing. But for his credit, he is not. And all I'm going to say is if he gets over this hump and wins a Super Bowl, now he's made Super Bowl in 2 out of 5 seasons. If you were to ask me next year, I'll give you a draft. Who do you want your quarterback to be to run your franchise? I think it's up for debate. I really do. And Joe Burrow is a great quarterback. He's fantastic. It's hard to make that argument against Joe Burrow because we realize how good he is if you give him a defense worth of a damn.
Yeah.
Right? Like if he was playing with the Eagles, he's probably in this similar situation. I can't tell you that with Lamar Jackson because Lamar Jackson turns the football over. Mahomes, of course. So I think that's where I start getting a little bit, I'm going to push back on that conversation saying, I know how great Lamar is. He's incredible. The regular season stats are nuts. He's won 2 MVP. Understood. Probably should have a third. We're not even talking about Josh Allen, and that's a different conversation in my mind. But Lamar, he struggles come playoff time, turning the football over. Jalen gets over the hump and wins the Super Bowl. I do think that that's up for debate.
It's also a guy for Josh Allen's scenario that had the ball in Kansas City with 3.5 minutes left to send your team to the Super Bowl. And listen, I thought Josh Allen played good. I think there was a lot of guys on that team that let the team down before Josh Allen did. Mm-hmm. But the facts tell you that Josh Allen had a very good probability to go win that game. You give if this is the guy that everyone says is a hero. He plays hero ball all year, and his receivers stink. And other than James Cook, his backfield stinks. And blah, 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 this stinks. He's the big hero of football. Then drive down the field and beat him. Like that's where I struggle in these debates, is because there has to be a line of where you draw it from the skill of the quarterback to the winner of the person itself. Like Josh Allen had every single chance to win that football game, and he got his team into a 4th and 10 situation. Sean, he didn't even get across the 50. He couldn't even cross the 50. I don't even think he got a first down. Did he go 3 and out? Like, I don't even think he got a first down. Mr. Hero, and all he does is make these big hero plays. And Josh Allen's the first player ever to have a passing and receiving touchdown on the same play. Like, then do something when you have the ball. Like, that's what these franchises dream of. Like, if you were the Bills, this is finally the time with 4 minutes left. You're sitting there. You're like, our guy is going to take us down the field and win the game. And even if he doesn't win the game, they were losing by 3. Mm-hmm. He didn't even have to score a touchdown. He just had to get them in field goal range. That's all he had to do. And he couldn't even get them across the 50-yard line. So, like, if you're going to sit here and scream about, yeah, Josh Allen runs laps around Jalen Hurts, and Lamar Jackson as a quarterback runs laps around Jalen Hurts, like, you're allowed to have a take. But every single time that you have that take, if Jalen Hurts wins the Super Bowl on Sunday, I'm going to show you one picture, and it's going to be Jalen Hurts holding the Lombardi Trophy, because that is what matters. Like, nothing else matters. I don't care about Josh Allen's heroic plays and Lamar Jackson's DVOA and how the Ravens were top 10 in the history of football in EPA per play. Like, none of it matters. Like, none of it matters. And you can throw 7-letter stats at me, and none of them matters. Show you the picture of Jalen Hurts holding the Lombardi Trophy, because that is all that matters.
I'm with you there. I'm totally with you there, Luke. And like I said, hopefully it's a discussion we can get into next year. And it brings things to a different level for Jalen Hurts.
I want that conversation so bad next year.
He has
I
played
want it
his
so
ass
bad.
off, man, and I'm looking at it in a different light. So for the Orlovskis, who used to be my favorite gas bag, I tried to eat Reese's peanut butter cup. I call it Reese's Pieces peanut butter cup. I have no idea why. Anyways, Reese's peanut butter cup. I tried to eat one like him at the Wings game on Saturday.
How does he eat it?
Oh, have you never seen the video? Have you not seen the video? Oh, dude, this is gonna blow your mind.
All right.
It happened last week.
Okay.
It happened last week. So it's a front, dude. It's not real. It's not, because he's a squirrel. There's no way you can eat this like that. Yeah, you can't. Your reaction says it all. Your reaction says it all. There's no way he does that in real life. I think he's made this deal about himself where he's a weird foodie, right? He claims it's all fuel, so like he can eat chicken with no seasoning, like whatever. He just eats for fuel. That's like gasoline for the car. So he claims that he doesn't like milk chocolate, and he'll eat a Reese's peanut butter cup, eating essentially around as much as he can the chocolate on the outside, and the chocolate on the outside he'll spit it into like a wrapper. First of all, I said point blank, if I came in and one of you were eating a peanut butter cup at work like that, I would say, dude, what's the matter with you? You
should
can't
fire me.
You're an animal. Like, do
You
that
should
at your
fire
home.
me.
You can't be
should fire
spitting
me.
food out.
If I got to the studio before you and I was eating a Reese peanut butter cup like that, you should tell me to go home. Like, I'm not even joking.
No, that's what
disgusting.
The first
and as a man whose favorite candy is a Reese cup.
Yeah. It's a one seed.
That's jail time, man.
It's an overall one.
Jail time.
So I tried to eat one like that, and it's just impossible. That's why I know it's fake. And he put it out there, and it's funny for the timeline. It's good, but he is a squirrel when it comes to his food stuff. And yeah, so he's on the timeline today saying that Jalen Hurts, no matter what, cannot get into the conversation of those three: Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes, regardless of a Super Bowl victory. And I'm here to say, not so fast. Let's talk about it. If he's able to get over the hump on Sunday, again, if he has a performance like he did last time in the Super Bowl, if he has a performance like he did against the Commanders, I think you're completely misguided on this conversation. But we'll revisit it. We'll bring it back. We'll have plenty of time to discuss that in the offseason. Oh, by the way, I'm hearing Parade will be on Thursday. Just saying. If the Eagles win, Parade will be on Thursday. Just saying. All right, final thoughts, Luke Arcaini, before you get out of here, sir. Great 90 minutes. We appreciate you hopping on. You will be doing a lot over the next few days, so you'll hear from Luke a ton. Finish the story. He's recorded, and he's going to be hopping on the shows with everybody else. But anything you want to get off your chest here? Hey, I saw that the Phillies trucks they left the other day, and we were waiting to buy.
They're there. They have arrived. They're there. Yeah, we're I think we're like a week away. I think 8 days, something like that. But that's Sean, that's the last thing I'm thinking about right now. I have never needed a team that I root for to win a game as much as I need the Eagles to win on Sunday. It's so perfect that our segment this week is called Finish the Story, because it is truly a story. Like, if you look at the season, it is a really funny story. Do you remember the reactions of the picture when Nick Sirianni shaved his head week 6?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people thought we were going to win 15 out of 16 after that. Yeah, man, they just got to win. Just freaking bring it home. They have a great chance. They have the better all-around football team. And I think if they play Eagles football on Sunday, I think I'm going to be able to show everyone the Jalen Hurts Lombardi Trophy picture. So yeah, I'll be doing Eagles at night tomorrow. Finish the story Thursday, and then I'm recording with Tansy in about 10 minutes for his segment of Finish the Story tomorrow night. So
That's
we
right.
got a lot of stuff to do here. But go Birds. That's all I got.
We keep it plain. We keep it simple. Luke Arcaini, fantastic job as always. Read him over at Crossing Broad. Arcaini Luke on socials. Thanks, Luke. We'll catch up later, sir. All right, Daily Ticket rolling on. 5 o'clock hour. Sean Barnard's going to join the program. We'll talk a little bit more about the NBA, Sixers. What does that deal exactly mean? I want to yell a little bit more about Luka. I still can't believe that the Mavericks made that move. What are they thinking? Nico Harrison. So we'll continue to discuss all things NBA. Funny stuff coming out of the world of iHeart. I just got sent a Dallas Goedert playlist. He came up with a big game ready playlist. We'll give Dallas Goedert.
Play it.
No, not. That's the. It's like, are you kidding of all days today? We will give this a rating. I am a music connoisseur. I'm a DJ in my off time. Matter of fact, DJing on Saturday at Fran Zones. Come on out there in Conshohocken for their 50th anniversary. They are celebrating a crazy milestone. Yeah, I need to look into that. They've been around forever. Anyway, so I'm DJing that from 5 to 7 after the Wings game. But we will rank and review Dallas Goedert's big game ready playlist for iHeartRadio on the other side. Luke, you the man. Don't go anywhere. More Daily Ticket after this.
The Birds are on Bourbon Street, and we're all over it for you.
Touchdown! Saquon Barkley!
Right here on The Gambler.
Let's go, Birds!
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Getting busy with volume on 95 northbound, stopping and driving Vine Expressway up the bridge. Southbound, slowing Woodhaven to Academy, Cottman Bridge, and Ridley Park to the Commander Barry. Blue Route northbound, so 95 past McDade, and southbound delays Broomall to Media Swap for busy on the Vine Expressway both ways, Schuylkill to Broad, westbound Schuylkill, so University to Girard, and City to Belmont, eastbound, so Blue Route to Belmont, and Montgomery Drive to South. Larry Totella, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Hey, Sean Brace here for DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, this ain't the little itty-bitty teeny tiny bowl. Now, this is the Super Bowl 59. It's time for you to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Score touchdowns. That's the key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. And you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet touchdowns. It's simple. Last time that these two teams matched up back in Super Bowl 57, we got fireworks. This time around, I'd be shocked if we didn't see two aggressive offenses on Sunday in Super Bowl 59. New DraftKings customers, listen up. You can bet just $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. All you have to do is just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code BRACE. That's code BRACE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Now, it's only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
This is your Tuesday Sports Minute, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas.
The big game just 5 days away. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. Sunday in New Orleans. Chiefs are holding as a 1.5-point favorite. Over-under total is 49 points. Big game MVP, Patrick Mahomes, plus 105. Saquon Barkley, plus 240. Player to score 2 or more touchdowns. Saquon Barkley, plus 275. Jalen Hurts, plus 625. How about Patrick Mahomes specific bets? Over-under passing yards in the big game, 252.5. Over-under passing touchdowns, 1.5. Over-under passing attempts, 35.5.
New BetMGM customers can download the app today using code MINUTE to receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if they don't win their first bet. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus to wager. New customer offer subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
Looking for the ultimate plan for Sunday's game? Dave & Buster's has everything you need to make your game day super. Enjoy massive TVs, next-level food and drink deals, and unlimited video games for just $20. Ice-cold $5 domestic drafts all day long. Fuel up with 20 delicious wings for just $20, spicy or sweet. Don't miss the best game day party in Philadelphia. Head to Dave & Buster's for unbeatable fun, food, and drinks. Let the game begin.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
Looking to elevate your golf game? Welcome to Penn Club on 2nd in the heart of Conshohocken. With over 350 courses to choose from, 3 state-of-the-art simulator bays powered by TrackMan technology, and a members-only clubhouse open 7 days a week. We're all about the ultimate golfing experience. Enjoy the perks of a family-owned club with affordable membership options for individuals, teams, and even corporate groups. Conveniently located near major highways, you can bring your own beverages and enjoy top-notch food at restaurants nearby. Visit pc2conchi.com to find your membership today.
The Gambler and Gary Barbera on the Boulevard want to put $1,000 in your hand. Keep it locked right here to the Gambler for your chance to win $1,000, all courtesy by our friends over at Gary Barbera on the Boulevard. Each weekday, that's 9 times a day, you'll hear a keyword at the top of the hour, and you could win $1,000. So, is the Gambler and Gary Barbera the best? Boy, I guess.
Gary Barbera's Super Gold to stay in control of the most cheap sold for $15,666. Right, Brandon Graham?
Boy, I guess. Boom, shakalaka. Cheap. Coach Sirianni, is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess. Go first. I know, yeah. Let's kill some.
Monster BTK, the latest installment of the critically acclaimed Monster franchise, exposes the chilling story of one of America's most infamous cases that shook Wichita, Kansas to its core.
When people said BTK, you think of a wild-eyed Manson-like character. What we didn't understand is he was the guy next door.
Listen to Monster BTK on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Monster BTK to start listening.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
Justin Jude, Global CEO of LKQ Corporation.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosting the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms: irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
When it comes to sending last-minute Valentine's Day gifts, nobody delivers like Target Circle 360. Get the perfect surprise delivered right to their door with Target Circle 360's unlimited same-day delivery on orders over $35. Start with a dozen red roses, then choose from our delicious assortment of favorite day candy and more. Crush your Valentine's Day celebration by sending something to everyone on your list. Only at Target. Restrictions apply.
We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Increasing clouds and cold tonight. Overnight low 26. For your Wednesday, mostly cloudy, cold. The high only 35 degrees. And we will get a bit of snow in parts of our area in the afternoon. Some areas could get about a coating to an inch. But then the real problems happen Wednesday night into Thursday morning, turning messy. Snow, sleet, freezing rain, eventually changing over to rain. Thursday morning commute could be a big problem. I'm meteorologist Cecily Tynan with your 6 ABC AccuWeather forecast.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Get ready for our 2025 iHeart Podcast Awards.
March 10th, we'll honor the very best in podcasting from the past year and celebrate the most innovative talent and creators in the industry. And you'll help decide who wins Podcast of the Year. Vote now at iHeartPodcastAwards.com.
Audible is a proud sponsor of the Audible Audio Pioneer Award. Explore the best selection of audiobooks plus podcasts and originals, all in one easy app. Audible, there's more to imagine when you listen. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
The Birds are on Bourbon Street, and we're all over it for you. Right here on The Gambler.
All right, Daily Ticket rolling on here. 5 o'clock hour coming up in just a little bit. Sean Barnard is going to join me for the full hour. Then you get 2 more of Barnard with Ryan Beef Coyle in studio. Beef making a studio appearance here on a Tuesday night. We appreciate him skipping Taco Tuesday at the local establishment down the road. I know it's hard to pass on those dollar margaritas and free chips and guap. Good. Love beef, and it's great to have him in studio with Barnard a little bit later. It's coming up. Finish the story 6 to 8 p.m. Then we go behind enemy lines with Roy Burton. Roy has a friend that I believe is a Chiefs fan or does media work for Kansas City, one or the other. But he is going behind enemy lines, which I think is great. It's fresh, keeps the content moving here on The Gambler as a whole, because we have not had too much of a look at the Super Bowl from the Chiefs' perspective. So I will definitely be listening to that at 8 p.m. right here on The Gambler. And then at 9 o'clock live via our socials, it's Eagles at night. I don't know if I can do it like that. If you are of my age, you remember USA, the channel, where it would be up all night. And I just did that. So I don't know. I might have to stop that. Anyways, myself and Mark Henry Jr. tonight at 9 o'clock. And everything is podcasted at foxphlgambler.com. Hey, oh, by the way, we'll be live on Friday from Yards on Spring Garden, 3 to 6 p.m. Stop on out. We're going to have some great giveaways, some Yards gear to give away, sampling some of the great beverages that, of course, Yards has produced. I mean, it's just a staple in the beer community, number one, but nobody does brewing like the folks over at Yards. So really excited to get out there. It's our first time rocking with Yards. So we are going to kick the door down and do it in a big way on Friday, getting you ready for the big game. Birds and the Chiefs, 59. And it's a football special edition Friday coming your way from Yards, 3 to 6 p.m. All right, DraftKings Sportsbook, folks, where we're getting our numbers from. We got some cross sports specials. Let's go over them because they continue to add these, and I can't wait. We will get more and more as the week rolls on here. But we're going to feature some 76ers players in a few of these. Let's do it. All right. First one. Let's go ahead and we'll talk about Dallas Goedert. He's got a playlist as well that I want to read here. Who will have more, ? Dallas Goedert receptions or Tyrese Maxey threes versus Milwaukee on February 9th? So the Sixers play the Bucks on Super Bowl Sunday. It said void if Maxey doesn't start. I don't think we should have any issue there. Who will have more, Dallas Goedert receptions or Tyrese Maxey threes? Goddard is minus 130. Maxey is plus 155. A tie is 7-1. That might be worth a while there at 7-1. Let's just, for S and giggles here, pull up Tyrese Maxey's stat line and see what he is averaging as far as three-pointers made this season. I thought his numbers came down a little bit. Yeah, he is shooting 34% this season. Not his best as far as from behind the arc. Still just an absolute beast out there. One of the very few reasons to tune in on a nightly basis. Game log for Mr. Maxey. Last time out, we just saw them play the Boston Celtics. Maxey was 5 of 8. 5 of 8. Went for 34 points. He's been over the 30 mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times times he's been over the 28 mark, dating all the way back until January 6th. January 4th is the last time that Tyrese Maxey didn't score 28 or more. That's the type of run he's on. He should be an all-star. It's a shame he's not an all-star. I don't care what that team's success is doing over there in Cleveland. He is more of an all-star than Garland, than a lot of those other guys. He is tremendous. And think about everything he's been through this season. So he continues to bounce back. Anyways, 31, 29, 30, 29, 33, 28, 37, 28, 29, 31, 43, 30, 42, and then 34 last time out. Now, three-pointers, as I said, 5 of 8 against the Celtics, 6 of 11 against the Nuggets, 1 of 6 against the Sacramento Kings. He was 4-11 against the Lakers. Now, the last time he played the Milwaukee Bucks, good grief, he shot 15 three-pointers in that game. It was a loss. They lost 123-109, but he still made 6 of them, 6 of 15. So that seems to be the POA against the Milwaukee Bucks. So something to keep in mind there. Plus money at plus 155 for Goddard. Goddard, the chemistry is there. Is he going to have a better game than what he had against the Commanders, where I think he had 6 catches on 8 targets, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, it's tough for Maxey to hit 6 3-pointers if we're just being realistic. So probably would have to go with Goddard on that one at minus 130. All right, next one up. Saquon Barkley to score 3+ touchdowns, or Maxey to make 6+ threes. So it's either or. Plus 450. Which brings us into an interesting conversation with regards to multiple touchdowns scored in the big game. It's teed up now, so we'll go into it. I have this take, and I'm putting it out there for the masses. Now, you have Saquon Barkley, who obviously is a touchdown stealer. We understand that. And the bottom line is that he will get touchdowns. But Jalen Hurts is the guy that gets the short yardage touches. He is the guy that gets the goal line carries. He is the tush push. He is the brotherly shove. And when that happens, he is going to get opportunities at the right spots of the field. This isn't our first time watching this happen. He's been doing this for years, and nothing is going to change. I was at the NFC Championship game against the Commanders with some friends, and they all had Saquon Barkley props. And there was, 2 times? Now, Saquon still scored 3 touchdowns, so I'm not here to tell you that he's not going to score. But what I am here to tell you is that Jalen Hurts will continue to get those short yardage carries. They're not going to give it to Saquon. They're not. So, reason why I'm so adamant, reason why I am just screaming from the mountaintops. The books right now, specifically DraftKings Sportsbook, 2 touchdowns for Jalen Hurts, it's plus 550. 2 touchdowns for Jalen Hurts in another book I just saw, 625. I'm not here to tell you, you do what you want. But that must be a play for you for Super Bowl 59. It has to be. Like, you need that play before an Eagles money line. You need Jalen Hurts 2 touchdowns before a total play. You need Jalen Hurts 2 touchdowns before anything. Anything. Simple as that. It doesn't get any easier for us to understand the logic behind it. We know he's going to score. What, you think he's only going to get 1 touchdown? No. There will be multiple opportunities for Jalen Hurts inside the 5, inside the red zone, that he's going to put it on his back, whether it's via the tush push or brotherly shove. We got to figure out what we're calling that. Are we a tush push, a team? Are we a brotherly shove? I kind of like the brotherly shove more than the tush push. But whatever's more successful, let's stick with that. And at plus 550, that has to be a play. And then we're going to top it off with this. This is the cherry on top. On DraftKings Sportsbook right now, Jalen Hurts. I know. Kansas City Chiefs are really good. I get it. Jalen Hurts to score 3 touchdowns is 28-1. Just hear me out. Mandatory play, 2 touchdowns, Jalen Hurts. It's got to be the number one play for you. Just, we're marking this tape. We're going to play this tape back on February 10th via the win or the loss, just saying. And you are going to hear me say, I told you so. At plus 550, 2 touchdowns, Jalen Hurts, that 100% cashes. As Reese Davis once said, risk-free investment. Risk-free. Jalen Hurts is scoring 2 touchdowns in that Super Bowl. No ifs, ands, buts about it. He might score 3. And at 28-1, that's a cup of coffee. Drop it in. Do it. $5, $10, pizza money, $20, whatever it is. You need Jalen Hurts 3 touchdowns. He is going to put the team on his back. It's the Super Bowl. Cross Sport Plays here on DraftKings Sportsbook. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, joining us via in-studio host of Finish the Story 59 from 6 to 8 p.m. this evening and did a great job last night, Sean Barnard.
What's going on, Sean Brace?
No video, but we'll get that figured out in the 5 o'clock hour. That's fine.
I'll get it loaded.
Yeah.
And by the way, I will note Jalen Hurts with 3 touchdowns in the last Super Bowl.
Yes, 4 touchdowns total, three rushing. Dude, that is a no-brainer. I can't believe that number at 550. In other books, it's 625.
Wow.
He's going to score 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely with you there. We've seen it all year that he is option A around the red zone, and that's not going to change with the bigger stage there. So yeah, 100%. I like where your mind's at.
Dude, I'm ready to go. Let's get this game. All right, quickly on this, and then 5 o'clock hour, you know where we're going. Cross Sport Specials on DraftKings Sportsbook. I got a couple Sixers and Philadelphia Eagles. You ready?
Hit me. Dallas
got it receptions. Tyrese Maxey 3s against the Milwaukee Bucks. Last time the Sixers played the Bucks, Maxey shot 15 3-pointers, made 6 of them. Plus 155 for Maxey 3-pointers made. Dallas got it receptions at minus 130. Where do you think we stand with Maxey 3-pointers?
I don't hate it. That's for that'll be the 2 o'clock game that day, correct?
I believe so.
Perfect. And I mean, Maxey is free range. We'll see what version of the Sixers are even existing at that point as we see him. The next couple of days may decide that, but I like that. I think Maxey could carry that for sure.
How many points is Tyrese Maxey scoring in that game? Because you can get him and the Eagles total points versus the Chiefs. And if we go over 64.5 between the two teams, Maxey and the Eagles, we're at plus 300.
I think I like that one better. We're getting a number for Maxey, typically 31.5 these days, 30.5 somewhere. And it might drop with Embiid likely coming back tonight, which maybe that sneaks it down a little. But I think if you get 30 for Maxey, that paves the way.
Embiid was questionable. Is he playing tonight?
I mean, upgraded for questionable for the first time.
It's the return of Joel Embiid. I'd play the song, but we got hit with a DMCA, so I can't. I don't know if I have no idea. We'll figure it out. All right. What we have figured out is Sean Barnard is going to join us here via the stream. He's in studio. We're hanging. Next hour, coming up on the other side, 5 short minutes. We're going to open up shop right from the jump with the trade of Caleb Martin. And we're going to find a little bit out about Quentin Grimes. What the hell is going on with the Mavericks in Sean Barnard's mind? Is this a total win for the Sixers? What do they do with that contract? Joel Embiid. More Sixers conversation on the other side. Plus, we'll continue to fire on some of these plays as well. This is a Daily Ticket. Back up this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
We're seeing some slow traffic on 42 southbound from the Walt Whitman down to Creek Road, 95 northbound, Jen, pretty much from the Vine Expressway up to Bridge Street. Southbound delays Woodhaven to Academy, Cottman to Bridge, and Ridley Park to the Commodore Barry. Westbound Schuylkill, Jen, University to Vine, and City to Belmont. Eastbound heavy Blue Route to Belmont, and Montgomery Drive to South. The Vine Expressway busy both ways, Schuylkill to Broad. Blue Route southbound delays Broomall to Media Swarthmore, northbound heavy 95 past McDade. Lara Totella, total traffic
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Here we go. Sean Brace for DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, this ain't the little itty-bitty, teeny-tiny bowl. This is the Super Bowl 59, and it's time for you to get on in the action on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Now, scoring touchdowns is the key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and you could score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet on touchdowns. Are you ready to place your first bet? Well, try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. All you got to do is just go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and make your pick. New DraftKings customers, listen up. You can bet just $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. All you got to do is just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use my promo code BRACE. That's code BRACE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5, and it's only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
He's coming. Here he comes. Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for a new one out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part you ordered doesn't fit, so it's completely useless. What a waste.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
I'm Greg Rosenthal, host of NFL Daily. Join me live from Radio Row in New Orleans. I'll be interviewing the NFL's biggest names all week long. NFL Daily will have you ready for this year's big moment. Will it be Mahomes completing the three-peat or Jalen Hurts avenging their Super Bowl 57 loss? We'll be there on the field after the game. Full recap, interviews with this year's Super Bowl champions. Don't miss it. Listen to NFL Daily on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow NFL Daily and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD273D. Your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Check. That's check. Enter it now.
FoxPHLGambler.com. Once again, FoxPHLGambler.com right now.
Big game and even bigger bets. Tackling all the props, spreads, and value plays in between. You're listening to the Daily Ticket with Sean Brace, right here on The Gambler.
All right, let's do this. 5 o'clock hour. Sean Barnard in studio. And yes, first time in forever. And I'll get it off my chest, and this will be the last time that I'll bring it up. I got hit with a DMCA violation, not the YMCA violation. No, don't get it twisted. DMCA. And I can't be playing good music. I can't be playing real music anymore. So now I got to use these generic beds. Or I could, but then I got to hit buttons, and I'm not worried. I'm not doing that. So now I'm kind of throwing off. I can't have my normal tunes, and I had that Super Bowl week with Kendrick Lamar. Like, come on, man. I got a Dallas Goddard playlist that we got to hit here, Sean Barnard. But
what exactly does this mean exactly? You just got a notification, copyright stuff? Is that the deal?
2 times, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
On Twitter, that is?
Correct.
Really?
Yes. So it's not good.
No,
it's definitely not. And I don't want to risk it. And
Right.
chances are I'm going to screw up no matter what. But we'll see what happens. Again, it just makes me be a little bit more creative with the beds and the verbiage over it, and the voices and all that. So we're all going to have our own opens, but oh well, we got to move on here. All right, we got a lot to discuss. First and foremost, I want to open up the 5 o'clock hour with this. A little PSA.
Hit me.
All right, because it's February and we got a little ways to go, but there's another snowstorm apparently coming our way. And I walk in and I see masks and I hear people hacking. And I got a 5-year-old, so I understand this. And there's nothing worse than when I get the phone call the day of, like, from our babysitter. Nope, can't come in, or preschool. Well, this person's sick. I understand. Stay home if you're sick. If you're sick, stay home. It's a new day and age. Do you agree, Sean Barnard?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a little reluctant there.
I'm a power through guy personally.
I used to be, but it can't be that way anymore, though.
I hear you out of respect for others. For me personally, I'm a keep it moving kind of guy. So I understand it's not the best thing for the universe, but like, I'm not a big miss work for being sick. Not a big do all that. Kind of stuff.
with you, but you could do all your work from home, though.
Yeah, most of the time that's true. Nowadays, that's more true than ever. So certainly hear you there. But I'll say this: like, I'm not to call a guy out here, but we're working a DraftKings shift, and a guy saying how he can't type today because he's sick, and like stuff like that. I'm like, all right, what are we even doing here?
Yeah, come on, bro.
But in general, understand your overall principle. I've lived through the power through it mindset for my lifetime. So kind of
same, absolutely. But now in this world that we are in, and as the program director here and a guy that deals with this, it's like,
sure,
all right. I come in today, point blank. Matty G, Adam Booth, Sebastian Latour, they recorded the Union podcast, first one for us here, X's into You. Union season right around the corner, a lot of moving parts. Jack McGlynn getting traded. Jeez, new coach, just wildness. Matty G is on the microphone here, the one that I'm using, and he's got like this nasal issue. He sounds like I'm like, dude, you sick? He's like, yeah, I'm all right. I'm like, no. Stay home, dude. Stay home. You could do this remote. You don't need to come into the studio. Anyways.
My sister here, she's down for the count right now. Haven't been around her. She's lives in Georgia, but she was on a trip out to Colorado. They did a 30-hour drive back, throwing up the whole way.
Ooh.
I'm like, I can't imagine a much worse trip than that.
Driving?
Yeah, well, she was in the backseat of the car.
Colorado?
Yeah.
Why?
She was out there she works in like fashion and film design kind of thing. So she's some sort of film they were doing out there.
So yeah, okay. And she's younger too.
Yeah.
Okay.
College student.
When you're younger, you tend to drive a little bit more.
Yeah.
Understood. All right. Well, we feel for her. Hopefully she's getting better. Anyways,
tough drive.
Stay home, people. Stay home. All right. Let's keep it moving. We got a lot to discuss. Sean Barnard, Sixers made a trade. And as a matter of fact, it happened. I was watching a McAfee show. Shams was on. It's not Shams, it's Shams, right?
Mm-hmm. Shams, yes.
Shams. He literally got like 20 minutes of sleep. He was on ESPN all day, every day. I bet you he is so upset that Woj is no longer an insider because he's got to work double. Anyways, and he had to let those guys go immediately because he's like, oh, I got something. And I was wondering what it was going to be. So I go over and check his Twitter, and then bang, it was Caleb Martin. 2 days after trading for Anthony Davis, the Dallas Mavericks made another move. It is official. I just got the email, correct? That's finally official?
Yep, team is announced.
Caleb Martin from the 76ers in exchange for Quentin Grimes and a 2025 second-round pick. Let's start from the 76ers perspective, of course. Tell us what the hell we're getting with Quentin Grimes and getting that second-round pick back. Mm-hmm. That was originally was the 76ers second-round pick. Talk us through the deal from the Sixers side of things. Good move in your mind?
Yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. So I'm not 10 out of 10 slam dunk move. The more I've digested it, processed it, the better I feel about it. From the Sixers angle, the driving force of this, number one, is financial. That Quentin Grimes makes half the money that Caleb Martin makes. Now, granted, I think it was a very fair contract for Caleb Martin and only in year one of a 4-year deal. So I wasn't really in the business of being interested in moving Caleb Martin. However, what this opens up is you get a somewhat similar player in Quentin Grimes. He went to Houston, spent 1 year at Kansas, 2 years at Houston. He's very Houston basketball personified, that he's hard-nosed, plays good defense, shooting a career-high 39.8% from three this year. A little bit of that 3-and-D archetype, but there's kind of a little bit more to him than that. He's a really high-level defender. He's a good player. He's going to be liked in Philadelphia for sure for half the money of Caleb Martin. You also get that second-round draft pick at this current point. The Sixers had zero draft capital for this season, so you now have a ticket to the dance a little bit. You at least have a chance to add somebody for this coming draft. And the quick note on that is it is the higher pick out of the Denver Nuggets and the Philadelphia 76ers. So whichever second-round pick ends up the more preferable, that is the one the Sixers keep. And then the financial side of this, they did duck below another apron here. So what I think is the long-term play or the goal of this is to open up a little bit more money to re-sign Gershon Yabusele is what I think they're really angling for. There's still a little bit more work to be done there, but they did drop below a notable first apron, which does open up some options there.
Okay, that's good to hear because I thought he was going to get paid and somebody was going to overpay for him.
Still possible.
Well. Yeah,
still possible.
But it would be great to keep him in a Sixers uniform because he's proved his worth and he's a nice piece. All right. For the people that want to sit there and say, well, hang on, you brought Caleb Martin in for a reason, and the specific reason was playoffs.
Sure.
And now you're moving him. It's the middle of the season. You signed him to a 4-year deal. Was what they got in return too much to turn down? Do people have a case to be made when it comes to, hey, look, he's a playoff demon is what I saw on social media, the timeline. All right, look, he was really good in the playoffs, no doubt, but is it a surefire thing that the Sixers are in the playoffs right now?
I think their odds have increased more so from the Bulls bottoming out. Obviously, them moving on from Zach LaVine and that huge deal with De'Aaron Fox and all that. I don't think the Bulls got really much. I think they're the clear loser in that three-way trade between the Kings, the Spurs, and of course Chicago there. So that to me, I perceive as the Bulls are going to be dropping in the standings, which by process of elimination there, that basically means the Sixers will be at least the 10 seed because I do think they're going to be better than the Bulls from here on out. It's not a guarantee they're in the playoffs, but I do think Caleb Martin is the most proven playoff riser that was on this roster. We've seen him have his best moments when the lights have been the brightest. There's a pretty convincing argument that he should have been an Eastern Conference player of the Eastern Conference Final MVP last year. It did end up going to Jimmy Butler, but Martin, I thought, was the best player in that series when he did compete in that. So he's had his flashes where he looks really good in the playoffs and, is the archetype of player that this organization has been trying to get a hold of for years. So I don't love giving up on him in year one of a 4-year contract. I would have loved to at least gone to battle with him in the playoffs once, but all love for Caleb Martin. I don't think it was the seamless fit we hoped it to be, and it's far from his fault that this season has gone off the rails. So it is what it is.
No, you're right about that. When it comes to Quentin Grimes versus Caleb Martin, the player, we know the difference in age that's got to come into it, but the contract is another monster with this. Let me ask you from the standpoint of just A versus B, the player. Quentin Grimes a better player than Caleb Martin?
No, Caleb Martin's a better player than Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes younger. He's 24 versus 29. So there's obviously there's a chance Quentin Grimes ends up the better player in the long haul and could grow into that. The biggest difference I would say currently, they're both defensive oriented players. Martin a little more versatile in that he can guard bigger players, can kind of scale up and down positionally in a way that I don't really see with Grimes. You could probably make the case that Grimes has turned himself into a better shooter at this point in his career, and we'll see if that is to continue. As I mentioned, it's a career high 39.8% that he's shooting this year, so we'll see if that is to last. There is a interesting habit of shooters tending to forget how to shoot the basketball when they come to Philadelphia, so do hope that is not the case there. But he's been a pretty solid shooter for the overall large part of his career to this point. He could get there and be better than Caleb Martin, but right now, Caleb Martin's still the better player.
All right. Well, I do want to point this out. Mark Henry Jr., who I'll be live with tonight, 9 p.m. Eagles at Night, says, I disagree. Quentin Grimes right now. Cousin Nikki, big fan of the move, and I think we all are at this point in time. Jake checking in. He was saying that he loved the Martin brothers at Nevada in college. Ballers.
Yeah.
I was listening to NBA radio on my way in. Rob Perez and Worldwide Wob and I forget his co-host every single time. Anyways, he's the color commentary for the New Orleans Pelicans, and he's tremendous. Both said Quentin Grimes right now a better ball player than Caleb Martin. Now, barely. Now we're threading the needle, as they say here, splitting hairs. But at the end, the point was, the big picture of all of it was moving down the road here, depending on what the deal is with the contract. And I want to get into that with you now, is that the Sixers probably are going to come out in the long run after it's all said and done. But will he be in a Sixers uniform? What are we talking about? The salary, as you just said, you want to focus on Yabusele here. Is there enough money to go around? Is it important that you keep Grimes in a Sixers contract? Your thoughts on that?
So he's on the last year of his contract, but he'll be a restricted free agent this summer. So what that means is other teams can offer and the Sixers have a chance to match there. So that's kind of a pretty clear negotiating advantage. And there's a couple more CBA intricacies that help with that as well. I think probably the goal is to re-sign him, but it's not a guarantee. I'm 24 years old. This is a guy I'm interested in keeping around for the long term, but we'll see how the half a season goes. And if he is a clean fit for this team, we've seen plenty of those chances where the Sixers have taken a swing on guys. It has not worked out and we've let them walk as well. I think the plan is likely for him to return, for this to be a long-term piece, but it's not a guarantee. And I do think the flexibility that comes with it, again, making a little bit over $4 million compared to the $9 million that Caleb Martin pulled in. So a pretty notable drop off there. I think it's about the flexibility, but in the long run, they like him as a player and hope to keep him.
All right. Yeah. Mark Henry Jr. firing some stats here. Quentin Grimes takes 7.5 threes per 36 for his career. Caleb takes 4.3 per 36. Do you say anything to that, Sean Bernard?
I hear him. The per 36 gets skewed for me with a player like Grimes, that because he's Caleb Martin plays more minutes per game. So you're getting kind of a more true feel versus Grimes. And he has had flashes where he played significant minutes, logged basically starter minutes. So I'm not going to fully hate on that. I also think defensively is probably the biggest gap between them. I think Caleb Martin can guard bigger guys in a way that I just don't fully see with Grimes. And I think there's a little bit more creation ability in Caleb Martin's game, but I think sometimes he tries that too much as well. So they're in the same tier. They're not far off. This isn't one that I have my heels dug in of. Caleb Martin's absolutely better. Just a guy that I prefer a little bit more. And, when you factor in the draft pick and the flexibility, you can certainly sell me on this being the right move.
All right. So when will we find out about Joel Embiid playing tonight or not? This is great. Sixers are 4-point favorites. Maybe I should have read into that a little bit more. As bad as the Mavericks are, as depleted as the Mavericks are, that was the only thing that was going through my mind. I should have thought maybe there was a chance that the big man would return here. 4-point favorites, 228 is our total for tonight's game, 7 p.m. We don't expect Grimes to play for the Sixers, do we?
I don't think so. It's pretty funny that they're playing each other, these teams tonight. So I guess theoretically you could accelerate the process, go through the medical procedure. I haven't seen any sort of reports indicating that that's the game plan or a possibility to this point. Would be cool if that's the case.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I don't think it's probably going to happen.
All right. Joel Embiid, though, give me a percentage.
I would say probably 75%, maybe even a little bit higher than that.
The big man could return, please.
I mean, for fairness here, the whole setup of this, he's just been straight listed as out this entire month that he's been out. It was upgraded to questionable yesterday. I don't think they would do that without having a reason or kind of an inkling there. They're going to make him go through his pregame routine and then decide, which is sort of the norm. So I don't think we'll officially know until probably a half hour until tip-off, but I do think he'll be on the floor tonight.
All right. Let's stay in the world of the NBA since we're here right now, and let's talk about some of the other big moves that have been made. I have not had an opportunity to talk to you about De'Aaron Fox. Jake checked in here. What is your thoughts on that move? Fox wanted out and wasn't worth a supermax, Jake is saying there. I know you're a big-time De'Aaron Fox guy. I am a huge fan. It is what it is. It's going great. You definitely schooled me with the standpoint of, hey, look, he's been in Sacramento. He's been a good soldier. It just isn't working out, and he wanted out. I was surprised that the deal went down because the asking price, did the San Antonio Spurs give up a ton to get De'Aaron Fox in your mind? Was the return there from Sacramento? I know they had a player that was unhappy and they wanted to get him out. But at the end of the day, hey, man, this is a business. You're going to play for the rest of the season and you can go on in free agency at the end of the year. That's how I assumed this would have went down. Instead, San Antonio hung on the castle, all the players that were being rumored to be moved that Sacramento wanted, and they got De'Aaron Fox over there in San Antonio. So I guess it's two parts. Did the Sacramento Kings lose in this trade? And then how real are the Spurs right now with the addition of Fox?
Yeah, the Spurs deserve to be in the contending category at this point now. And as far as the trade as a whole, just
contending for it all.
I mean, I don't think they're going to be full contenders this year, but I think this is the core. They have the core now. Next year, I would say that we can start to put them in that conversation, but they have the potential to make some noise in the playoffs this year. I'm not going to short sell them. Now, to kind of list off the main bones of this trade. So 3-team trade between the Spurs, the Kings, and the Bulls there. I love it for the Spurs. I like it for the Kings. I hate it for the Bulls is my overall outcome here. So the Spurs walk away with De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. Shout out to the short king, Jordan McLaughlin there. Sacramento Kings get Zach LaVine, which is interesting. I'm a LaVine guy. I think he's better than the perception of him. It is a weird fit there, and the Kings still have some work to do. But the real prize of this for them, they walk away with 3 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks. So they got a nice little draft haul and can probably start their rebuild process, would be my expectation there. And as far as the Bulls, they walk away with Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and get their own pick. Their first-round pick for this year comes back to them there. So as far as the main bones of this, the story is absolutely the Spurs here, that they are now on this accelerated plane to being a team that is ready to make some noise. Victor Wembanyama has taken these leaps to a legitimate all-star. I was going through this list with Sam Ostry last night, kind of talking about where does Wemby stack up around the most valuable player in the league. I put him at 5 straight up. When you talk about what the importance is on both sides of the ball to an organization, and now you are adding these pieces around him. I think De'Aaron Fox is frankly better than people realize because he's played in Sacramento. The pick and rolls between Wemby and Fox, the speed that Fox can play with, as well as the gravity that Wemby commands as a shooter. I think this is the core that San Antonio now has, so I'm really optimistic for what this can turn into.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, because, when you start talking about the West, and we got a long way to go, so nobody's going to sit here and pretend we got a crystal ball. But there are some teams out there, specifically like the Houston Rockets. That game last night was incredible. You got to be changing your tune on the Knicks, right?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same about them. Like,
hold steady. It's the bit. You got to hold steady. Come on.
Like, are they better than the Celtics? Do you think they can beat the Celtics in a 7-game
because I think
series?
the Celtics haven't played great in the regular season or haven't played their best in the last few weeks. But it's still going to flip the switch come playoff time.
Yeah, I guess I would put the Knicks in the same category of a team that I think is very good but can't win an NBA championship is pretty much how I feel about them. They've been better than I've expected. Karl Anthony Towns specifically has been far better than I expected, and that I guess has opened my eyes a little bit, but I still think like the Celtics are comfortably better than them, which that kind of limits their reach in the East if that's the case.
Are they better than the Cavs?
Oh, that's tough. I would probably say yes to that. I think the Knicks are better than the Cavs, but I'm believing in the Cavs more than I ever thought I would at this point in the year.
That's fair. And I'm right there with you on that one. And the Cavs are 40-9 still at the top. Just to let you know, DraftKings Sportsbook or Sean reps plus 330 to win the East. The Cavs are right now plus 110 to win the East. Knicks plus 380, and then it drops off significantly to the Milwaukee Bucks at 11-1, who are currently 26-22, who trailed the Indiana Pacers, who had a terrible start to the season. Knicks 33-17. They score in bunches. They have some great scorers, of course, with Brunson and Cat and Bridges doing well right now. The thing that I would say about them is it's that home court, man, is real. They have a great home court advantage, and I know, teams play better at home, but it does seem like there's a significant edge inside the Garden. And we know that better than most with us here, even though the Sixers did go up there and steal that game with Maxey hitting that ball from the parking lot. But still, I just look at what they're doing right now. They're impressing me. I bought into them at the beginning of the year. So here we are more and more. Are they perfect? No, but I would give them the leg up against the Cavs and then everybody but the Celtics. And I would sign up right now for an Eastern Conference final between those two teams if the Sixers aren't.
And I will note, we do have official word. Joel Embiid is back in tonight. So look at that. Play the music, maybe. We're back. Who knows?
Can I play the music without getting banged by DMCA? That's the worry right now.
That's fair.
Damn it. See, I got these generic beds. I don't even know what I could do. I got to figure this out. I'm like bland right now. Oh, well. Joel Embiid is back. When was the last time he played?
January 4th.
What did he do?
Get
hurt?
Yeah, I think he played a full game. I don't think there was any issue there. It was kind of one of those after the fact things again. So we'll see how long he's back on the floor, but he will be playing tonight.
All right. So you know what we got to do? We got to fire up DraftKings Sportsbook. Money coming in on the Sixers now up to 5 points. 5-point favorites, jumped up from 4. Player point total for Joel Embiid, the big man. Will he score more than 23 tonight?
Oh, yeah. 23 is too low for him.
22.5 is the number at -105. We got movement. They're flashing in front of me right now. Joel Embiid, who's averaged 24.4 points per game this year. How many games has he played?
13.
13 total games on the season. 13 total games on the year. Oh, my goodness. Joel Embiid, 22.5 at -105. Kyrie Irving will be in attendance tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, so at least he gets somebody worth a damn over there. Clay as well.
Clay's still there. Clay's still kicking, still on roster.
Yeah. So it's
they seem to view Clay like quite positively, by the way.
Money coming in on the under for Joel Embiid. Drop down to 21.5.
Jump on that.
-120. No, let's see how low we go. Where's the pushback here? Again, this is the issue, though. We know how he works in these moments. It takes him a day or two to get everything going.
But 21.5 is crazy low.
Well,
for
what's
Joel
the
Embiid.
first time he played? Remember, everybody's going berserk, and he scored like 13 points.
Let me pull up the whole stats for the year. So averaging 24.4 per game, which is still incredibly low by Joel standards. Yeah, he did score 13 in his first game back. So he's been held under that in 5 of the 13 games that he's played. Still 8 of the 13 that he's hit it.
Oh, I love it. Joel Embiid, the big man, back for the 76ers tonight. Are you tuning in? Are you watching? You starting to care? This is so let's go big picture with this then.
Okay.
This is it, right? This is it.
And we do have Joel Embiid expected to play around 30 minutes.
Okay. Like, this has got to be it. What, like, I don't even want to venture down whether he makes it through or not, if he's healthy, because if he's not, then it's just, we're in a world of hurt. But right here, right now, the excuses need to go out the window. This team, with the return of Joel Embiid, the man that it all revolves around, they need to hit the gas pedal if they plan on making the playoffs, if they plan on keeping this thing together, albeit the trade deadline is on Thursday, so there's not much, that's going to happen, I would assume. But it starts now, and tonight it's 5-point favorites, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you got to take advantage of every single one. And for the whole conversation about we did this tanking thing for a while, I just don't see the pathway to actually getting a top pick being there. So with that being the case, you might as well go for it. And with the Chicago Bulls dropping off following the Levine trade, it makes no sense for me not to just try and win, see what you got, and then address things this summer. See if you can get Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and Joel Embiid on the floor for somewhat of a consistent period. We've seen 10 total games. They're 7-3 in those matchups. The Sixers are going to cling to that and slant that as, a positive outlook that if you can get this core healthy, but it's got to actually happen. So there's still, 30 plus something games left in the season. They could potentially make a little bit of noise, and we still don't really have a definitive answer for what this team looks like fully constructed. So it all starts from here, I guess, but it's been ugly.
All right, Daily Ticket rolling on. Sean Barnard's with us. We got Ryan Beef Coyle. He's going to join us for the final half an hour as you boys are getting ready for Finish the Story coming up here at 6 p.m. We got a lot to discuss. I even want to dip our toes into some college basketball conversation with Beef. But right here, right now, Embiid is returning. Birds are in the Super Bowl. I mean, like, turn back the hands of time. It feels like it's 2 years ago right now. I feel like a new man, Sean Barnard.
By the way, Joel's point prop up to 24.5 now, so tried to tell you to jump on it.
Wow. So the minute restriction pushed everybody to the north side of things there, or the lack of minute restriction at 30.
30 is still below his normal.
Yeah,
but,
it's below, but still it's a high number than, like, I would have never said he would play less than 30 anyways. If he's playing less than 30, you probably just sit him out.
Yeah.
All right. 24.5. Interesting. Good call by you. We'll see what happens. Look, I will say this much. Last time I was gung-ho that, like, everybody was wrong and he wasn't going to sniff what he did, and I was right. The videos that we've seen, now we're entering the Ben Simmons territory. The pregame workouts, he looks like he's fast. He looks like he's ready to step on the floor and command it. We've had this discussion many, many times. We'll see what happens tonight. But at least there's a new element, a new wrinkle to this bad boy. Now we get to tune in tonight, Sixers and Mavs. And dare I say, it's first game this year besides the Christmas game that I'm looking forward to.
Wow, I like that. That surprises me, but I'll take the motivation a little bit. And the thing that I want to make clear about Joel,
I'm sure there was a game earlier with Paul George that I was a little more motivated that I'm forgetting, but it's been a long time. I am looking forward to watching the Sixers at jump ball tonight.
Paul George, who's still out with a pinky injury on his non-shooting hand, by the way. But nonetheless, I will note the Joel Embiid conversation, to be clear here. he's not cooked from like, can he physically play or is he still good at basketball? He absolutely is.
I can hit the sound effects.
Yeah. But what he is cooked from is like a bounce back standpoint. So while I will be very interested in how he looks on the court tonight, what's even more of the story to me is how he feels tomorrow or what that outlook for me is.
Fair.
That is the concern more than anything.
Well, I would just say from where I have been, and I will be consistent, I am concerned because of his words. He said, like, it just is bothering me. And it sounds like arthritis. I think people have put that out there. And arthritis is just a crazy crazy thing to deal with. And I know that we look at, and I brought up Greg Oden before, I brought up Brandon Roy before. Like, these are the things that happen to big time human beings.
Can I dig in on that point though?
Yeah.
Do you remember ever for any of those guys, the Brandon Roys, you can go down the list, the Yao Ming, even I throw in there.
Yeah.
I never felt like there was like this targeted like frustration with them in the way that Joel gets.
Oh, no.
Like,
no, definitely not.
I can't.
Joel's hated.
Yeah, but I still can't put my finger on, like, I get that to an extent, and I get he embraces being the villain clearly.
Yeah.
But it
Make
does,
your bed, you got to sleep in it, right?
I guess, but
is it over the top? Sure.
It's strange to me, is I guess what, like and I don't mean like even like take Philadelphia aside. I'm talking more on like the national scale and the larger thing. It feels like with just Joel when he's dealing with injury issues, which by the way, he's like, look at Kawhi Leonard, man.
Yeah.
Like Kawhi
doesn't. Well, yeah.
He gets nothing but sympathy, really,
Yeah.
of like, it's such a bummer he can't stay healthier. The talent's obviously there. His body's just failing him. That's the opposite of what Joel gets.
Kawhi has said 6 words maybe his whole NBA career, and he's laughed a few times as well. I used to have that sound drop. Okay, that's one thing I do know I could work on is my sound drops.
There you go.
I need to work on that. I used to have the Kawhi laugh. I guess perfect. All right, Daily Ticket rolling on. Beef's going to join us. Conversation rolls on. Stay right there. More after this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Anytime on a Tuesday afternoon, crews are getting ready to stop traffic at the Tacony-Pomar Bridge. That's for a drawbridge opening. 95 northbound, heavy Penns landing up to Bridge Street as southbound, so approaching Woodhaven to Academy. Copman Bridge and Ridley Park to the Commodore Barry. Blue Route northbound stacked up 95 past McDaden. Southbound delays Broomall immediate swap for eastbound Schuylkill Jam. Blue Route to Belmont and Montgomery Drive to South. Westbound stacked up University to Girard and City to Belmont. Or to tell a total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Eat Lux your way with the new $5 Classic, $7 Supreme, and $9 Discovery Lux Craving Boxes from Taco Bell at participating stores for a limited time only. While supplies last, price of participation varies. Drinks exclude freezes, tax extra.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SOUND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SOUND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SOUND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
Justin Jude, Global CEO of LKQ Corporation.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. So whatever your customers listen to, they'll hear your message. Plus, only iHeart can extend your message to audiences across broadcast radio. Think podcasting can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, radio, and podcasting. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
On Saturday, February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Pro Volleyball Federation's first All-Star match. The league's biggest stars will clash in a can't-miss event hosted in the Indy metro area, home of the Indy Ignite. Catch every serve, spike, and save live on CBS. Don't miss this historic showdown of volleyball's finest. The Pro Volleyball Federation All-Star Match on February 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Be there.
We rely on our cars a lot, but maintenance or breakdowns shouldn't slow us down. Say hello to Cruisin', your complete car care solution. Download the Cruisin' app to quickly order roadside assistance for flats, jump starts, lockouts, and more. You can even request mobile oil changes and car detailing, all from a peer-to-peer network of trusted help. Download the Cruisin' app and discover car care redefined. Go to CRUZENapp.com. Cruisin', complete auto care at your fingertips.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at TopDogLaw.com. Once again, that's TopDogLaw.com.
Bourbon Street has officially turned midnight green.
I always dreamed about it, but the dream wasn't just getting there. The dream was winning it. So that's what the mindset's at.
All things Big Game 59 right here on The Gambler.
Yeah, running 3 wide right here, right now. We got Sean Barnard in studio, and joining us, the man known as Beef, Ryan Beef Coyle. Beef, how we doing?
Good, fellas. Got some juice. Definitely a juice-filled week here. Super Bowl. Driving home from work today, I had to put on sunglasses. I don't know the last time I got to do that, so that means brighter times around the corner. But
Damn right.
Go. Great week coming up here. Excited to get into it all tonight.
Yeah, man. So you guys are gonna be hosting Finish the Story from 6 to 8 p.m. By the way, the programming rolls on because Roy Burton goes behind enemy lines. Give us an idea what the hell is going on from the Chiefs' perspective at 8 p.m. I'll be live with Mark Henry Jr. at 9 p.m. So we just keep it going here, man. We got a lot going on The Gambler this week. Of course, the big game on Sunday. But right now, we got some juice. We got some jam in the building because of Joel Embiid, the return of Embiid. Beef, your thoughts on JoJo returning for the Sixers here?
Immediate thought was Sixers play again tomorrow night. He'll be ruled out for that one, but no,
probably the post-game presser.
Yeah, but all jokes aside, it's definitely good to see him back. Conversations a lot with Barnard. It's basically like these past few weeks, they've been kind of in that limbo mode of what do we do at the deadline? Do we go out and acquire someone? Do we ship off some of these assets? And it looks like they made that first move today with Caleb Martin. Is that a sign of more moves to come in terms of trading, or did the Sixers look like they were actually, acquiring an asset here with Grimes, and bettering the team? So everything, as always, is built around the big fella and what he can do and if he's able to be on the floor. And I think since that devastating loss to the Nuggets a couple weeks ago, 144-109, the effort has really picked up. I think that their message from Nick Nurse after that game kind of resonated. And these past 2 losses against the Nuggets and the Celtics, if Embiid plays in those games are games the Sixers probably win. So you're still in this contention. You look at the standings. I think they can make a legitimate push for the 6th seed and probably sets you up with a series with the Knicks in the playoffs. And I say game on from there.
As I was just singing the praises for the Knicks. Yeah, we got them.
Role player super team, baby.
Oh, man. Yeah. They score 130 with role players. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Come on, man. Brunson's ridiculous.
Brunson's
he lives in the moment. He's a guy that just I don't want to put the cap on. And then Cat is incredible. Bridges is starting to fill into his role. Josh Hart is he a role player?
Yes.
Yeah, but he does so much.
Role player,
yeah. Like he fills it up a little bit more for me than just your average role player.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a wide definition for role player, but
Yeah.
I certainly think Josh Hart is in that category.
Don't make me be Mr. Spike Lee over here, okay? Don't make me do that. But at the end, I am a fan, that's for sure, of this team right here, right now. And look, would you rather see the Knicks get over the hump?
No.
Or the Celtics win another one?
Celtics win another.
Really?
I hate the Knicks that much, man. I really do. I hate this Knicks team more than any team I can remember. I still think they're fake good. Like,
yes, you've been on record.
Yes.
Yeah.
They won one playoff series in
it's true.
my entire lifetime, Sean Bray.
That's true.
I don't get like the cockiness for this team. They're good. They're winning a lot of regular season games. They've been healthy. I saw this stat the other day. The top 7 3-man lineups across the NBA. Could you name one of them? So 3 players.
Yeah.
All 7, top 7 combos.
They're all
come
from
from the New York Knicks.
Correct.
Yes. That like they just play their starters that much. Like it goes through every combo of OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns. Like the top 7 across the entire NBA all belong to the New York Knicks there. So I'm still skeptical that's like capable of being sustainable for the entire season. And let's not forget why they were eliminated last year. It's because all these guys' bodies fell apart.
Yeah, you're right about that. All right, just to catch you up, Joel Embiid will be making his return. 13 straight games, 15 straight games? 15 missed. 23.5 now. So we got the pushback, Sean Barnard. It's now down to 23.5 on -125 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Sixers currently were 5. We're at 4.5. So there's some pushback there. Sixers are 4.5 point favorites tonight. As far as the rest of the NBA, big time card here on a Tuesday evening. I guess the big one would be the Cavs. They're a point favorite at home against the Celtics. Houston Rockets have been playing really well. Tough game last night against the Knicks. They go to Brooklyn. They're 9.5 point favorites tonight. Knicks head north. They're 5.5 point favorites against the Raptors. Heat and Bulls 3.5. Will Jimmy Butler be making the trip out there? Probably not. But they're 3.5 point favorites on the road. Lakers and Clippers. When do we expect to see Luka in a Lakers uniform, Sean?
I think Saturday they're shooting for that. He seems closer to returning than I think the general perception.
He was supposed to play this past Saturday.
Fair. So yeah,
that's what they said.
I mean, so Saturday seems like the day they were talking about the press conference today. That was an interesting press conference. I don't know if you caught any of that.
I caught very little, to be honest with you. What was your big takeaway other than the fact that he said he was surprised?
Yeah, I think Luka was just as stunned as all of us. He very quickly put to bed any reports of him not being interested in taking that extension with the Mavericks. Absolutely not. And shaking his head no halfway through the question was his response to that. I thought it was interesting. There's very clearly some bad blood there that Luka is going to hate the Dallas Mavericks forever. And maybe that adds a little something to the NBA as a whole. So
man.
I cannot wait to see that matchup betwin those two teams again.
And it's listed on DraftKings. They had it
Yes.
immediately. And it was next game between the Lakers and the Mavericks will be on February 25th. In LA, Lakers are 5 point favorites. It's a Tuesday night. I would assume NBA on TNT.
That's going to be prime time. Yeah.
Just a little bit of assumption there. All right. So should we take the 5 right now or give the 5 right now?
I'll wait and see what these teams fully look like before clicking send on anything there. But I will be taking Luka Doncic's point prop basically at whatever that number is. I'll say that.
All right. Beef, your thoughts on the trade, Luka to LA. Do you think there's some shenanigans happening behind the scenes?
I don't know about shenanigans, but I have been baffled about some of the clips. I think it was Stephen A. I saw yesterday saying
the Mavericks
are the number 1 seed in the West. I'm like, in what world in this moment are they better than they just were, where they're already in the 8th seed, I think, as of today, something hovering around there. I know
8th, yeah.
Yeah, 7 to 11 in the West changes every night, it feels like. But in what world are they any better than they were yesterday? And then what world are they going to be better going forward? Once again, it was one of the more shocking, surprising news
ever.
I was with a bunch of people and everyone pulled up their phone and had the same exact look at the same time and all started showing each other our phones. And we're like, really? Yeah. Really? And everyone kept saying the same thing. Is this fake? And when anytime something like that happens, you got to feel like you messed up somehow if you're Nico Harrison.
Yeah, well, how about this? This is Charles Barkley, and I believe it's from yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, from ESPN. This is what he had to say currently about this present-day Mavs team.
OKC, they're my favorite to win this thing, but man, the Dallas Mavericks, they might have just became the second best team in the Western Conference because the jury is still out. I think Denver needs to make a trade because they need to get some bench help. The Rockets are so young. I'm not going to take the Rockets beating the Mavs in a 7-game series.
Defense does win championships.
Yeah, defense does win championships. Yeah, exactly. I'm pulling for the Rockets. Now, Sean, we got a new team in the arena, right? With the San Antonio Spurs. Like, don't we have to start talking about them too as well?
Yeah, I think we should. I don't think they're gonna actually make like a ton of noise. And for what it's worth, they sit in the 12th seed currently, so they do got. I mean, they're 21 and 26. They're 3 games out of that 10 spot. So it's not like the West is that tight knit. They've lost a couple of surprising games lately, which is why they've dropped. But if you get a ticket to the dance, and we haven't even seen De'Aaron Fox suit up for this team yet, they absolutely got a shot. That Victor Wembanyama is that level of game changer, and that's not a matchup that any of these teams are going to be itching for if they're in the mix there. So I'm not counting out the Spurs yet. I do think this is probably the year they take their lumps, and then next year they really lock in. But a team that I would be scared of if I was in that Western Conference.
All right. I know you boys are going to be talking a lot about the Super Bowl, the big game 59 from 6 to 8 p.m., finish the story. So I want to kind of hit on some other things here if we could. We'll finish with a Super Bowl conversation because I want to get your thoughts on Jalen Hurts and the expectations for his play and specifically his box score. But Beef, let's get on over to college hoops if we could for just a second. I know it's a big night on the college card. St. John's and Marquette right from the jump at 6:30. You can go ahead and change the channel in the studio. I know you'll want to watch it. But 2.5 point spread for the Johnnies. 147.5 is our total. St. John's for real this year.
Yeah, I think I saw Fanta say too. It might have been yesterday afternoon, but he said it's the biggest St. John's home game probably in the last 20 to 25 years. This is St. John's program that hasn't won.
Nobody does it like Fanta.
Won an NCAA tournament game since 2000. So huge game here, and you got Marquette coming off what was supposed to be like a changing of the guard, I think, type of game, at least for the Big East this year, with UConn going to Pfizer Forum last Saturday night, and UConn went in there and won pretty handily. So Marquette kind of seeing what they look like coming off that bad loss to UConn in a huge game here for St. John's. It's awesome to see what Rick Pitino has done in year 2 here, and they're looking like a legit threat. They were coming on late at the end of the year. I think if they were a team that made it into the tournament, nobody would have wanted to see them. But that's an awesome game. I like St. John's to come out and cover that 2.5 in that one.
Another top 25 matchup, Ole Miss at home against Kentucky here. And last time out for Kentucky, they lost to Coach Cal, and Arkansas going into Rupp and winning that game. Ole Miss kind of all over the place for my liking. This number here, 4.5, Ole Miss at home, 157.5 is our total here. Before you go into that game, SEC continue to eat each other up.
Yep.
Is that going to be an issue come March?
It could just be like with the Big 12 the past few years, like cannibalizing each other a little bit, beating each other up. Obviously that could impact your seeding as well down the line. But I still think the SEC has so much depth that it's going to be hard to really have a bad tournament per se. That's a conference that should have 5 to 6 teams at least in the second weekend.
All right, and then tonight's game between those two teams, Kentucky and Ole Miss, you got to play.
2 teams that I don't have my fingerprint on really, because when they've looked good, they've looked really good, and then you see Kentucky lose to an Arkansas team that's been pretty much dead in the water all year. Ole Miss just a few weeks ago went to Alabama and won. So it's like what version of these teams show up? I like Ole Miss a little bit better at home tonight. I think that was a real demoralizing loss for Kentucky. Obviously, a lot of pressure in that spot. But I feel like this is more of a gotta have a game at home for Ole Miss. So if you're gonna make me take a play in that one, I like the -4.5. Total at 157.5 seems a little high for a Chris Beard coach team as well.
Yeah, and to another game on Saturday that was surprising. Not so much the fact that they lost, but how many points they scored in the game, and that's Florida losing on the road against Tennessee in what was just an embarrassing game. How many did they finish with?
44.
44 total points.
I think it was the lowest points that they've scored in program history.
Pitcher's duel.
Exactly. When I heard a few people break that game down last week, one from an SEC network, the other guy was on VSiN, who reps ESPN. I forget his name. And both of them made the case that Tennessee can't score can outscore Florida.
Yeah,
that was the take going into that game. And then all of a sudden they throw up 44 points.
And Zakai Ziegler was out for Tennessee, and one of their big men as well, probably their 3rd or 4th leading scorer, was out, and they still kind of dismantled them. That's Tennessee for you though, when they lock in on the defensive end, and that's been every Rick Barnes team. They can play defense with just about anyone in the country, but their main flaw has been their scoring. And in games like that, when you're holding your opponent to only 44 points, you don't need it. But still, if you come out of that game, if you're Tennessee, you still, I think, are a little bit worried kind of ceiling-wise because Florida isn't known for their defense and are much more known for their offense. In Tennessee only putting up 64 points. I think we're seeing a very similar Tennessee team that we've seen in previous years compared to last year's team with Dalton Connect, where they were really able to light it up a bunch.
11.5 at home in the Swamp, taking on Vandy here. Is this a bounce-back spot for the Gators?
I actually kind of like Vandy. Vandy got ran out of the building last weekend against Oklahoma, but Vanderbilt has been a pretty solid team. Definitely a program on the rise with their new coach from JMU. I kind of like them to keep it within the number there. Florida, too. It's like, how do they bounce back? This is a big kind of bounce back night for some teams. Marquette that we've already highlighted, Vanderbilt, Florida. So looking at that as well, Kentucky, too, that we talked about. Some teams that got to, I think, prove some stuff tonight. Out in the hardwood in college.
I like it. Is there a dog barking tonight? Because I know that Ryan Beef Coyle was rolling out the dog of the day. He was doing well. I don't know where we're at, where we stand right now, but
we were 5-1, I think it was, and one of my friends tweeted out like, "Don't let the kid get hot." 6-1, and it was for Kansas, and Kansas had the epic collapse in double overtime, and since then we've been on a bit of a downward spiral. But we're going with UNLV tonight plus 3.5. It's a late night game at 11, so you're probably waking up to some money in your DraftKings account tomorrow if you take that one.
Risk-free investment, baby. Risk-free investment, like Reese said. All right, big picture college hoops right here, right now. The thing that I would say is it's still kind of surprising to me that everybody is all on Auburn and nobody is really switching to the dark side, taking Duke. I'm not here saying that I am. I know what I was saying before the season is concerned. But what can Duke do to take over the majority of people out there in the sports gambling world as far as wagering on a national champion right here, right now? Can Duke do anything? Or is this a prove it come March type deal, Sean?
I would argue Saturday was like one of those examples of what they can do. Like that was one of the more convincing performances I've seen from any team all year, just stomping on UNC from start to finish in that one. But I'll throw it to Ryan on that same question there. What can they do?
Yeah, it goes back to what we talked about last week, Brace, where it's like every time Duke's going to play from pretty much here on out, unless Illinois is ranked or potentially Louisville if they do play them. I forget if they do. But every team that they play from here on out is going to be unranked. Every time you see Auburn play, you're going to be like, oh, there goes Auburn again, beating another ranked team in the SEC. So it kind of goes back to that, like how good is Duke? And that was definitely a convincing performance on Saturday night. Because Duke, North Carolina, as we know, it usually comes down to the last possession. And the spread in that one was a whopping 14 points. And Duke was covering that easily from start to finish. It got a little bit close at the end there. But I think Duke's just going to have to continue to fight that narrative of they're not playing anyone. They have a soft schedule. But if they just continue to win and show up, I don't think it's kind of like the Eagles, where it's like, as long as you win the game, it doesn't matter. And we're just going to keep moving on to the next game.
All right. Anything else from the world of college basketball at this point in time here on February 4th catching your attention?
No, just going right back to the SEC and just how dominant it's been. It's pretty crazy every single night. But really looking forward to seeing who comes out on top in this St. John's Marquette game. For a program like that in New York City, I know Rick Pitino won't be around forever, but it'd be cool if they have a nice little kind of 3-4 year run here with UConn and Marquette and hopefully Villanova back on the horse in a little bit.
Yeah, taking on DePaul. That better be a win for I don't know if that made sense for the Cats. That's at 9:00 tomorrow night. Late one for Jansen tomorrow. And then they got Xavier on Super Bowl Sunday coming up at noon here. All the action right here on The Gambler. The Johnnies coming in on Wednesday next week, February 12th. I believe that game is up there on the main line. I don't think it's at the Wells Fargo Center.
Let's head out.
Yeah, I actually am with you on that one. It's a 6:00 start. I can do that. I can get into that game. Yeah, let's go. All right, let's get on over to the Super Bowl here and let's talk about the big game props and Jalen Hurts specifically. You guys are going to be talking a lot about this, so let's just jab here. I'm not trying to take the wind out of your sails, but I am looking at these Jalen Hurts props, specifically the touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, and I am all in. I just think it's worth a shot. I get it. It's 28-1 to score 3 touchdowns, long shot. But if there's a chance that this guy can go off and get you 3 touchdowns, I think it's a pretty good one. And I realize that There are people out there that are on the under in the Super Bowl. Maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment with the 2 championship games sailing to the over. Maybe the Super Bowl 57 being in the 70, the total score as far as 70 plus. I look at it right here, right now, and I do think that Jalen Hurts is going to find the end zone at least 2 times. So plus 550. Other books I'm seeing at it as high as 6-1, plus 600 for Jalen Hurts to score 2 touchdowns. Is that a thumbs up? Is that a thumbs sideways? Thumbs down? Sean Barnard, I'll start with you.
Thumbs up for me. That I'm all about it. And what the bet that has been my favorite across the board is Jalen Hurts for Super Bowl MVP at plus 350 there. I love that value. I think he is the guy there, and we've seen it all season. That as great as Saquon Barkley is, and he certainly will make his impact felt in this game as well, Jalen Hurts is still going to be the number 1 option when they're in the red zone. So I think he gets there at least one. The minus 110 for an anytime will be a slam dunk bet, and I think just about everybody should be on that there. But I'm with you that I think there's a pretty strong chance that he gets in there multiple times. He had 3 rushing touchdowns last Super Bowl, was among the league leaders again this year. I don't see a reason why not, and I don't see this Chiefs defense really having the ability to stop the QB sneak or tush push or brotherly shove or however you want to put it. They're going to have those chances there, and I do think Hurts finds his way in. So, yeah, I'm all about it. Huge thumbs up for me.
Beef, 2 touchdowns, Jalen Hurts.
I definitely think it's a possibility. I have Jalen Hurts in quite a few parlays so far, just as like an extra leg. So I'm probably just going to be rooting for the one along with Eagles there. But I was listening to something actually today from John Gruden. He did like a 55-minute breakdown of the entire Super Bowl, and the Chiefs are the best tackling defense in the NFL. So I think if you look at it from that way, it's like, all right, what has Saquon done recently? What's like lasting in our memory? These long breaking touchdown tackles. Runs. Yeah, breaking these touchdowns, having these long runs. So if you think that the Chiefs are going to do what they've done all year and kind of be able to bottle up Saquon and hold him to 5-6 yard carries, Eagles slowly move the ball down the field, that's going to set up a lot more opportunities for Jalen Hurts. So if you believe in the Chiefs kind of keeping Saquon intact, not letting him have that 60 to 65 yard rush, that's going to set up for the opportunities for Jalen in the red zone, because I think anything within the 5 is pretty much his, whether the design run, the push, whatever. He's going to find his way into the end zone at least once. Minus 110, that's got to be a hammer play, and plus 550 sure can be in the cards as well.
Hammer play.
Love it.
Where are you guys watching the game?
Still figuring that out, to be honest.
Party. Hector.
Party on Hector. Party. Beef, how many pillows do you have on your bed?
How many pillows on my bed?
Yeah.
5.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's a good tally.
A couple for decorations.
Love it. We were just kicking that around. Michelle's great. She's so funny. I told her about the look, dude, I was your age once, and that was when I met my wife. She will tell you the horror story of going to my bedroom. Like I had this one, it wasn't even a dresser. It was this huge thing that like you pulled it didn't even close. That's right. And it had two drawers on the bottom. That was all I had there. I had a TV on a stand and a PlayStation. And then I spent crazy amount of money on a bed. This bed, because I hurt my back when I was in Sea Isle. I was like, it was crazy. So I had to spend money on this bed. I literally had a $3,000 bed.
Wow.
This thing had lights on the bottom.
High rolling.
Well, you can charge it too. Pay the monthly payments. This thing had a motorized, vibration, not a vibrator, pause, vibration, massager, had lights. It went all the way up and down. I still got it. It's upstairs. The thing weighs about 1,000 pounds. It's ridiculous. And that's all I had. That's all I had in this white room, nothing on. And I don't even think I had a towel over my window. Let's just put it that way. So I sent it to Michelle.
Give me some respect. That's a blanket.
Oh, sorry.
Needed something dark enough to keep the sun out.
Oh, I love it. All right, the boys are going to have some fun tonight. I promise you that. It is Finish the Story 59 right here on The Gambler. I can't even play any music to take us out. Like, I feel so awkward. It's so bad. But we'll figure this out. I got banged with a DMCA hit on my X account. And what that is I can't play music over the live account, or else I might lose my account. So I got to be smart about it right here, right now. So
remember that happened before?
Yeah, it did.
Lost your Twitter a couple times.
Yeah. They've been targeting me, man. It's Russia. They're on to me. All right.
Like the ball community.
Finish the Story is coming up next. Then at 8:00, we go behind enemy lines with Roy Burton. Then at 9 o'clock, it's Eagles at Night. Myself and Mark Henry Jr. We are jammed up tonight. We'll be jammed up all throughout the course of the week, including on Friday, live from Yards, 3 to 6 p.m. Maybe even Tubbsy might make an appearance. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. We appreciate you, everybody checking us out. Yeah, Luke Arcaini says, I tuned in. First thing I'm hearing is about vibrating beds. Finish the story is next. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.
See DallasStillSucks.com for details.
Gary Barbera Jeep are super cheap. Super cheap Jeeps.